Hi and welcome to Roborace. You are joining us live as we embark on a new, truly global challenge for the first time. This is called Offsprint in Time. Hi and welcome. My name is Rachel Stringer and I'm going to be your host for tonight's challenge. Obviously, this is part of Roborace, as I mentioned just a moment ago. What is Roborace, you may be asking? Well, I'll tell you, it's the world's first fully autonomous, fully electric motor racing series. And in real time, we're actually halfway through season beta, which is a developmental series where our competing teams get to develop their racing AIs, where they download their bots into our amazing Roborace car, which is called a DevBot 2.0, and then take on challenges around the Las Vegas Motor Speedway circuit. But tonight, there's something a little bit different in the mission because we're kind of in practice mode, okay, we're going to call it, because that gives our competing teams the chance to test their bots without having any problems like possibly crashing into walls. You guys might remember Thruxton. We do very well. I hope the teams involved maybe don't, just pass that over. Anyway, let's get on to tonight then, because we have some teams dialing in from all over Europe and the US, and then Roborace themselves are connecting the UK and Russia. And well, you can probably see, well actually you can't because I've got an amazing backdrop. I am joining you from my living room at home in the UK in London. And I'm not alone either. I'm joined by two Roborace veterans in the form of Andy McEwen and Max Tutiev. Hi guys, how are you both doing? Andy, great to see you again. Where are you joining us from and how are you doing?
Yeah, good to see you, Rach. Long time no see. Yeah, I'm back in my glamorous office at home up near Liverpool in the northwest of England, and yeah, really looking forward to getting back to this. It's been far too long since we had some Roborace action to talk about, so yeah, really excited.
Yeah, it's been a couple of months, hasn't it? And Max, great to have you on board as well. How are you doing, and where in the world are you joining us from today?
Hi Rachel, hi guys. Nice to see you. So I will be from my home in the Moscow, Russia.
Amazing. So you're quite far away then, Max. So apologies in advance if any technical issues happen. I've got Andy in Liverpool, me in London, and Max in Moscow in Russia. Max, so tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing during tonight's mission, Max.
Today we are going to do an Offsprint in time. I will start and stop the mission, watch the results of air and resolve technical issues. Today will be one round per one team, and the team that has a lot of time left will win this challenge.
So you're kind of in control then, Max, so whatever you says goes pretty much. So we're going to be on our best behaviour.
I will manage the race.
Amazing. Right, Andy, obviously you've been involved in our season beta, like I mentioned at the top of the show. This is a little bit different. It's sim racing, but with a twist. What can we expect?
I don't really know, to be honest, and that's kind of been the story of Roborace since we all got involved in it from the very start. We don't really know what's around the corner with it, do we? But yeah, sim racing, it's this thing that's kind of taken over the last 18 months or so with sort of traditional motorsport fans really starting to tune into what sim racing is. And here at Roborace, as usual, we're taking something that is fairly familiar these days, sim racing, and doing it our own sort of special way. And as we're about to see when we get the action underway, it's like nothing else you will have ever seen, and maybe a little glimpse into the future of what the real world Roborace competition might look like.
Yeah, I love that you said there. We never know what to expect here on Roborace, so really buckle up, guys, because we never know what's going to happen on this show. But we do know that we're bringing you a sim challenge tonight, and these simulated challenges are a great way, really, for Roborace to check in on the competing teams and see how they've been developing their AIs and progressing as well through rounds, because like we mentioned, we haven't actually been on circuit for a couple of months now. And it also gives us at Roborace the chance to maybe work on one of my favourite parts of it, which is the metaverse. And Max, you've run quite a lot of these now, haven't you? Why do you think these kind of events are so important?
Yeah, exactly. These kind of events are very important because They allow us to do integration tests of our whole system, including technical part and production part. Also, fully virtual events allow teams to test software and compare results to each other. For me, it's a fun experience to manage competition, and maybe sometimes I will drive myself on the mission with the real cars.
Well, I'd quite like to see that happen, actually, Max. But yeah, we know how important these simulators are for the teams, especially in season beta as well. That's how they kind of practice and really develop their AI. So crucial stuff. But now let's move on with the rules. Every challenge, of course, has to have a rule, and tonight is no different. So for Offsprint in time, the clue is kind of in the name. So tonight, time is money. If you lose all your time, your mission is over. You're out of here. You're done. Okay, so the challenge is a 9.55k traffic sprint. And to kick off, each team is given 10 minutes on the clock to upload their software to the ADS and RMC computer units. And then once they're ready, we'll give them an 8-minute time credit. And this 8 minutes is crucial because when mission control say go, it will start to tick down. And they have to complete the close to 10k circuit, which I just mentioned, before that time hits 0. They do in fact have 2 attempts at this challenge though. We're being a little bit kinder to them just so they can build up to speed, let's say. And the winner of tonight's challenge is the team with the most time remaining at the end of the distance. Okay, so once they've completed the distance, it's a team with the most time remaining at the end. I hope you've got your head around that. I'm trying to as we go along as well. But wait for it. Roborace love to add some other elements to this. And today we're, of course, adding the metaverse once again. I said earlier, we're calling this the traffic sprint. And that's because during the distance, our teams will actually encounter live and unpredictable traffic, vehicle traffic, basically. They'll need to overtake these. So it's basically, imagine in real time, when you're in rush hour, trying to get home from work, you're going from work to your home in 8 minutes, trying to overtake some traffic. Got it? Okay, yes, I know, we have got it. They'll also come, the traffic is obstacles, and they'll also come involved in some glitches as well. Lot to get our head around, guys. That's why Max and Andy are here as well. Max, so what happens if they actually hit any of these obstacles then?
If the team bot hits another vehicle in traffic, which means that boundary boxes of which vehicle have overlapped, it results in an instant 40% speed deceleration for the team for 5 seconds.
Okay, so if they hit something, 40% decrease in speed for 5 seconds for the team's car. Okay, I get that. So, but what? That's just talking about hitting it. What if it smashes into an obstacle like a traffic? What happens then? Anything different?
Yeah, that's another kind of penalty. If they ram another vehicle in traffic, which would be if there is a 30% overlap in the boundary boxes, then it's an instance 80% speed reduction for 5 seconds.
Okay, so if they just hit something, it's a 40% reduction in speed for 5 seconds. If they smash into something, it's double. It's 80% reduction in speed of their vehicle for 5 seconds. So Andy, basically it's like real time. You don't want to hit anything because there are going to be massive consequences, right?
Yeah, exactly, and that can be difficult to do sometimes, even when you're in full control of your own car. But these are driverless virtual cars, admittedly, but all being controlled by AI, and a real challenge for the teams to try and program that all in. And yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see who does that best. And it's not that hard, is it, Rach, to see the relevance of this in the real world? This is the kind of technology we want to see in our road cars in the near future, and it's great that Roborace gives us a chance to figure out, you know, how this is going to work in a safe and virtual environment. Those obstacles, then, Max, that the teams are going to have to avoid. Just tell us a bit more about those.
Yeah, obstacle is an object on the road which should be avoided, because once a collision with such object, we call them gizmos in the metaverse, is detected, the car speed will immediately be decreased. And we have 2 kinds of such gizmos today. It's ghost car that move along the racing line like a real car, and rectangular gizmos moving across the road.
Yeah, so lots of things to think about for these teams. And we also have glitches on the journey, something else to think about as well. But you collect these and it actually decelerates everything around them in the world. So upcoming traffic and the dynamic obstacles actually slow down by 15 kilometers per hour for 10 seconds. So that's going to be pretty crucial for these teams. It's the difference between passing a pack of cars or getting stuck behind them. Andy, that's going to make things even more interesting, right?
Yeah, now that is something I'd like to be able to do in the real world. Wouldn't that make that rush hour traffic a bit easier to negotiate? But yeah, that's going to be a really interesting element of the competition, actually, because we've seen, haven't we, in season beta, that the teams that can get the collectibles, as we call them there, the sort of time-saving things that if they hit them, it takes time off their final score. Those teams that have really grappled with that the best have been the hardest to beat. So it sounds like those gizmos, getting more of those, could be the key to victory, but it's not quite that simple, is it? Because sometimes those gizmos lie so far off the line, or you have to slow down so much to collect them, that actually you end up losing more time than you would gain. And those decisions that have to be made by the AI have to happen so quickly. And yeah, the teams I think that get their head around that the best are going to be the ones ultimately that have the most success.
Absolutely. Max, so we've been talking about this being called a traffic sprint. Am I right in saying there's going to be a lot of traffic, or is there going to be one car that the dev bots have to kind of get past? Tell us a little bit more about that.
It will be 23 ghost cars at the same moment, but our system allows us to simulate lots of them at the same time. But I think that this 23 ghost cars is enough for tonight.
23 sounds a lot, let me tell you that. It really is like rush hour traffic, isn't it? Going from work to home and avoiding cars, avoiding pedestrians. I wouldn't want to be these teams tonight. This is going to be quite a tricky challenge, let me tell you that. So it's a fresh set of rules, of course, for this off-sprint challenge tonight. And that will be the case for every mission in the future as well. And the key to this is turning away from the convention of typical motorsports like laps and lap times and really forming an all-new mission world. So tonight it is about saving time, and you'll have to tune in to the next mission to see how that might bend the team bots in a new direction. Well, I'm pleased to say that we're nearly ready. So the 10-minute clock for the teams starts now. They'll be downloading their RMCs and ADS then into their simulator. Max, tell us a little bit about what the teams are doing now then, and maybe how long it does take for them to download everything. Will it take the full 10 minutes, do you think?
Yeah, usually it takes 10 minutes, maybe more or maybe a little bit less.
And am I okay to ask you, what does this process actually look like? How do the teams download into the simulator? It's quite confusing? Is it quite techie? Tell me a little bit about that.
Teams has an access via SSH session or RDP session to the HIL simulation environment, to the ADS computing unit, and also to the RMC computing unit, and they upload and launch their software, use this kind of connections.
Well, they have 10 minutes, like we just said. Hopefully they can get everything downloaded in time. Fingers crossed for all our 4 competing teams tonight. First up, though, the team who are downloading everything into our simulator at the moment. And our first up for Offsprint in time, it's Team Autonomous Racing Rats. Here we go. Well, you can see 4 members then of Team ARG ready and waiting by. Hi, guys. We've got Marcus, Tobias, Lisa Marie, and Max. Right, I'm going to start with Tobias first. How are you feeling ahead of this event? You guys are first up. Are you worried? Are you nervous? Are you excited? Tell me a little bit about your emotions.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, we are quite excited. I mean, I listened already to your introduction that we have to deal with 23 ghost cars, so that will be quite exciting. But I think we are quite good prepared, and we will see how it ends. Yeah.
Yeah, Lisa Marie, I'll bring you in next. Tobias then just mentioned the 23 ghost cars. You've got the vehicles, you've got obstacles, you've got glitches. There's so many things to think about. Have you kind of taken them all into consideration, and do you feel your bot is ready to cope with them all?
We will see that. So we have taken them all into consideration, but what will happen now in the race, we cannot say now. But we are very excited to start.
Yeah, we're excited to see how you get on. You're obviously first up. Marcus, tell us a little bit about how you hope this will kind of go for the team, because it's nice, isn't it, that you haven't got to be on track. And like I mentioned in the introduction, there are no walls that any of the teams have to crash into, but Simulator is pretty new. How have you found prepping for this event?
Yeah, so in general, it's a quite good practice for us to test our software in the simulation, especially here on the hill, because it's like the real car for us. There's no difference. But like you said, there are no walls, so we can drive with a much higher risk compared to the real car, because there we really need to care. And here, to be honest, we don't care, or more or less.
Well, Max, then we're speaking about a high risk. Can you tell us a little bit about the strategy and what your goal is? Are you hoping maybe to use both the attempts? Obviously, you have 2 today.
I mean, obviously, we always trying to finish in 1 attempt. And regarding the strategy, we actually decided to not use the glitches and focus on more racing style of strategy, because we say it's for us it's quite difficult to get the glitches involved, and also long term it's nothing you will usually encounter on like a physical race. Yeah, so we decided to go without them.
So Tobias and Max were just saying you're not going to use the glitches, so you're not going to try and slow anything around you down in the world. Is that correct? You're just going to go full throttle and see what happens?
Now we still, of course, want to overtake the cars, but we do not try to collect additionally the glitches such that the other cars suffer under the power reduction.
Guys, I think you need to upload your software now. I'm not sure if you started doing that. Obviously, you've got the 10 minutes to do that. So if you guys can do that, I don't know if you're doing that live or if you've already done that, but obviously that's crucial as well, the 10 minutes. Lisa Marie, I asked Max, how long does it usually take for you guys to download the software? Does it usually take the full 10 minutes, or can you do that in a shorter time?
Usually it takes the full 10 minutes, but we hope today we will do it in shorter time, but we might take.
Does that worry you guys
at
all? Yeah, Marcus, does that worry you at all that you might not get it downloaded in the 10 minutes?
Yeah, I hope it should be fine. So currently I'm doing the upload, so maybe you ask some other guys.
Okay, Marcus is busy. Let's move on from talking to Marcus. Max, then, are you busy or can I speak to you?
No, I'm fine. It's okay. Go ahead.
You're fine. Okay, so are you also kind of looking forward to getting back to Las Vegas? Because this is obviously great, the simulator experience, and it's obviously allowing us to try out new things, allowing you to try out new things. But I guess, does it compare with the thrill of actually trying the DevBot around the Las Vegas Motor Speedway circuit?
I mean, like you said, simulation is quite nice, but I guess we're all looking forward to go back to Las Vegas, because I just think the stakes are a little bit higher if you're actually trying it on the vehicle instead of just going in simulation. And I think there's also, in terms of knowledge gains, there's a lot more to get from the races itself.
Yeah, but we haven't been out on track now it's been a couple of months, hasn't it, since we've been in Las Vegas. Tobias, what have you been able to develop in that time? Has it been quite a nice time frame to actually sit down as a team and kind of think about your strategy long term?
Yeah, I think for us, normal work did not change that much. Even as Marcus said already, With the sim races, also there, our approach is not really that different. So we continue to improve our software, to tune it, and I think from race to race, it doesn't matter if it's virtual or physical, we get better and we are able to perform better than hopefully also on the racetrack.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lisa Marie, do you have maybe an A and a B and a C tactic for today in case possibly one doesn't go quite to plan? Have you got kind of different racing lines that you can try out if the A, your best option, doesn't particularly work?
So we definitely hope our option A does work, but of course we have a plan B in mind, but not gonna tell right now.
I know, because you never know, the other teams may be listening. Max, I'll come back to you. Obviously, there's 4 really strong teams in this. You've got, obviously, SIT, Arrival, and Polymove as well taking part. Do you know anything about what the other teams are planning today, or who are you most worried about going up against?
I think the teams are all quite competitive, but usually we're trying not to focus so much on the other team, but rather like see what we can do, what we can influence, and just try to give the best we can.
Typically very great answer from you there, Max, being very on point there, not saying who's going to do the best. I mean, really strong, obviously. SIT currently sitting number 1, aren't they, in the Roborace Season Beta Championship as well. Tobias, if you thought anyone was going to be one to watch, are you going to give me an answer? Who do you think it would be?
I think probably SIT, because they have the biggest advantage from the last race as well. But yeah, I think it depends also on how much effort is put into that special event, in that special virtual event from any team. Of course, you can reuse the stuff also for the further races, but still there are some points you need to develop explicitly for that race, and of course you need to put some effort into that.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously we know then that Marcus is uploading at the moment. Throughout your 8 minutes, what roles does everyone play in this team? Tobias, I'll start with you. When actually your dev bot is kind of going around the circuit, can you just sit back, relax, if I'm allowed to say that, and watch it, or are you actually doing different roles as it's actually taking its go around the circuit?
I mean, once the car started, theoretically we can relax, yes, because we cannot do that much anymore. But of course, there is we always hope that we can finish, but the high intensive work is before the race and not during the race. At least
Tobias,
for me. I mean,
then...
Marcos uploads currently the software, so I think he has to do also intensive work now. But I think I can relax.
And Tobias, in the build-up to these events, what is your role within the team? What part do you play?
I deal with the optimization of our algorithms, and also working with the validation of the output of the planner. So our planner calculates path, for example, to overtake the vehicle. And we have some software components that then actually validate that plan, and maybe then also trigger recalculation of that overtaking maneuver.
And I guess, how great a challenge has it been to actually calculate for the dev bot to go around some traffic? Because this seems like it really is the future.
Yeah,
Tobias,
it was quite a challenging task. Unfortunately, Martin, who did the most work with the planner, is not here today. But yeah, it was quite challenging. It was quite a long process. And there were always added new features by Roborace that didn't make things easier for us. So it was really from race to race, we had to adapt things, to change things. Other things turned out to work not that appropriately, so we had to develop some things newly. So it was quite a lot of work, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess you've also got to, calculate the fact that if you hit different objects as well, you'll have either a 40% reduction in speed or an 80% reduction in speed. I mean, we do like to challenge you here, don't we, with this metaverse, Lark? Again, how difficult was that to calculate?
Yeah, that was very difficult because the rewards and penalties changed a lot. So we didn't focus that much on that because, it was sometimes also, quite short before a race. The penalties for hitting an obstacle, for example, were increased. So it was not that easy to consider in the planner. So our approach was more like, we try to avoid as many obstacles as we can, and we try to get as many collectibles as we can, and plan safe overtaking maneuvers, and not considering too much about real values of penalties and rewards.
Yeah, we said it's going to be safe. It hasn't going to be as safe, thankfully, as it does if we're on the Las Vegas Motor Speedway circuit, because there are no walls to crash into this time out. There we go. So, Lisa Marie, you guys are up first. I believe you're ready. I believe, Marcus, you are downloaded. I'm ready to go.
Yes, so
right,
our
guys,
software is ready.
I'm going to wish you luck. And I'm going to say you have 8 minutes now on the clock to complete this 9.55k traffic sprint, as we're calling it. You guys are ignoring the glitches. They're going to try to not crash into any of the vehicles and the obstacles like we've mentioned. ARG, you are up. Let's get on with this. So Max is booting up the environment. Again, remember, these teams have 2 chances. ARG said they hope they'll only take 1. Fingers crossed it goes smoothly for them. Andy, over to you now. Take ARG's first attempt away when you're ready, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Rach. I've missed doing this, There is the dev bot then. First glimpse, really, of what the sort of next generation of the Roborace vehicle is going to be. Those who have been watching Season Beta will know we've been using the DevBot 2.0, but this is very much the future. This is the concept of what the vehicle that will replace that will look like. So great that we get to have a little look at that here, as the vehicle will be very shortly making its way out around the course then. So the course they're using for this event is based on the Las Vegas circuit that we're using in Season Beta, but we are completely rewriting the motor racing vocabulary here, so we're not going to be talking about laps and corners and all that sort of stuff. It is all about the distance that they can cover. They have to try and complete the 9.5 kilometers in the 8 minutes. It sounds like that's pretty likely actually for ARG, because we heard them saying they're not really going to deviate from their path too much to try and get these gizmos. They're just going to go as fast as they can. Whether they're able to avoid the traffic and the obstacles, that is another matter entirely, I suppose. But we will hopefully very shortly get to see them making their way around the track and see what the benchmark time can be, and whether or not their strategy is going to be the one that will win them the event. So I'm very excited about what we're about to see. This is my first time seeing this sort of sim racing version of Roborace. Max, though, I know that you've seen it once or twice before. So what are you expecting out of today? And do you think that ARG are going to have the winning strategy? I'm not sure that Max can hear me. That was a good start, wasn't it? We'll try and get back through to Max in a moment.
Yeah,
or two.
we are doing
meanwhile,
some preparations, and looks like we are ready to launch an ADS and start the race. Let me activate Ghost Cars. So Ghost Cars are active. Yeah, ADS is ready. And go.
There we go. So, just like that then, ARG are off. Good stuff, Max, and we've got everything working properly as it should be. So off they go then. There's the first of those obstacles they have to miss, and they've done that successfully. Another one there just as they turn into the first corner. So you can see now everything in the metaverse. Those purple blocks there, I think they just hit one actually, are going into that corner. They are the obstacles. You can see the traffic there in the shape of the dev bots, and they've hit one already, look. So that has slowed down the car. Remember that when they hit an obstacle or a bit of traffic, then they will end up having a reduction of speed. So if you see the vehicle suddenly slow, and that is why, through another obstacle there that they collect, and that just means they can't get up to speed out of the corner. So you can see the time that this can lose you, and the 8 minutes to complete the course is not really that long an amount of time when you can see the amount of obstacles they're hitting. It's not been a very clean run this so far for ARG, and their speed dropping down there to almost just 30 kilometers an hour as they hit that dev bot. Now, can they get past it this time? Looks like they will, but to overtake the traffic, sometimes that puts them in danger of hitting one of the dynamic obstacles as well. So that's another factor to try and work out on the go. That looks as though a slightly cleaner sequence of corners there, but they go into the back of another bit of traffic and they almost go off the road, and they are off the road. Oh, ARG, it has all gone wrong, and you can see the reaction of the teams there. They, unfortunately, are going nowhere. The car is off the road, and that is not really what we wanted to see. And I think now they are going to have to rely, aren't they, on that second attempt. So we'll wait and see whether they are going to be able to restart quickly or not, but it may be that this just takes a couple of minutes before the ARG team can line up for their second attempt. A great example there, though, of how easy it is for this to go wrong. You know, they were picking up some good speed, they hit the back of that dev bot, and I don't know whether that maybe had something to do with the vehicle heading off course, but once it got on the dirt, it unfortunately lost control, and that was that. So, a dramatic start then to this afternoon's proceedings. We'll hopefully, as I say, get ARG back out very shortly. Max, I don't know whether you can maybe shed a bit of light on this. Do you know how long it might take them now before they can reset and go again? I'm not sure he can hear me again, so we'll wait and see, shall we? Wait and see how long this is going to take. Hopefully not too long. They've already loaded in once, I guess. My fairly uneducated view of it is that if they're already in, they just have to hit a big reset button and off they go again. I'm sure it's more complicated than that, but the team working with Max to try and get started once more. But an exciting start then to the racing here today. And I believe we're going to get some more action very shortly, because I think we are almost ready then to set them off for their second try. So they'll hopefully have learned from that and seen what maybe they could do to improve this time around. They were certainly picking up some good speed when they weren't being slowed down by the contact they were having with the obstacles and the traffic. So let's see, maybe they're going to be able to keep that speed up, but maybe make fewer mistakes this time. So the 8 minutes gets reset then once the team are loaded back in again. So this doesn't count within the 8 minutes initially, but they have to finish this time. If it all goes wrong again, that will be the end of their attempts today. So I think we're seeing there. Yep, there is the DevBot back on the start line then. And I think once Max gives us the go-ahead, we will be good to go once more.
And prepare an environment for the second attempt.
Okay, so that's thankfully not taken that long to get it all reset then, and let's hope that that carries on for the rest of the day if other teams have to do the same thing. So how long then do we think before they can head back around again? The pressure on now, definitely, after the mistakes that they made in that first run. If it goes wrong now, then that is it. They'll be out. So the nerves, I'm
And
sure,
I
are
think
starting
that we
to...
can start the race.
Excellent news. Okay, then, let's get them off then, Max.
I'm starting the race.
And there they go. So, excellent stuff then. Off goes the dev bot. Now, let's see if they do a little bit better this time then. That first obstacle to be missed. Good timing there, I think, more than anything else. Helped them avoid that one. And another obstacle. No, they just clipped it, so they'll have a slight speed reduction. That looked like that was just the smaller of the two penalties that you can get. Remember, if you lightly touch these obstacles, then you don't have to slow down quite as much as if you drive straight through them. So, seeing some slight reductions in speed there. But they're back up to pace again now. Top left corner of the screen, you can see the speed that the vehicle is reaching, up to almost 180 kilometers an hour there as it encounters a bit of traffic, goes straight through it though, and that means the speed slows down again. Look at that, almost down to 25 kilometers an hour. So a reduction there of over 100 kilometers an hour, basically. A bit of slowing for the corner as well. Another obstacle, another bit of traffic. But in between these collisions, they are picking up some decent speed through that tight right hand of the traffic, almost catching back up to them there, but they managed to get out of it before it comes and hits them. Oh, that was close. That was very, very close to another obstacle, but I think they got through that section a bit cleaner this time, so I don't know if that was something that the AI was doing differently or whether they just got a bit luckier with the timing of it all. Again, they go straight through that dev bot, and that will mean they slow down for the corner. Again, down to about 25, 26 kilometers an hour. And then they start to build the speed back up once again. Now, I think they are approaching, aren't they, the corner where it all went a little bit wrong on the first attempt. So let's see. In fact, they might have even gone through that corner. I think we've got further this time. So hopefully they're going to complete the first few kilometers in one piece. Yes, they are. And speed was picking up. It's so frustrating when they start to accelerate and then they just barely catch one of those obstacles. But they have completed, I reckon, about just over 3 kilometers then. So they're about a third of the way through. And already this is going better than in their first try. The time then remaining, you can see the time credit there in the top left corner. They've used just over 2 minutes. So if they keep this speed up, they should get to the end within the 8 minutes. But remember, the team that has the most time left at the end of their run of 9.5 kilometers or so, they are the winners. So it's not just beating that 8 minutes, it's how much you beat it by. They've really had to slow down there, haven't they? And then that messes up the timing for the next obstacle as well. So you lose time by hitting one, and that means that you're almost more likely to hit another one. And again, the car's going to be going so slowly, it'll be going backwards if they go any slower. Really having to reduce the speed through the hairpin. They make their way back through again. So their first sort of 3 kilometers or so were completed in, what did I say, about 2 minutes. Let's see if I think maybe a bit slower in this portion of the run. Another traffic there to negotiate, and again, by going offline to try and pass that dev bot, they almost got into one of those obstacles. It looks to me like the AI is making more of an effort now almost to miss the obstacles, and they may have even got one of the gizmos there. Yeah, they have, look, because they've slowed down the traffic, so they did get a gizmo, but then they've hit another obstacle and almost come to a standstill. It's that corner again, that's where they went off before, and that was a proper collision as well, so they had to slow down there for 5 seconds. Sorry, for, 5 seconds by 80%, because they really did drive straight through that obstacle on that occasion. So that one corner there proving to be a little bit tricky for the ARG team then, who have been getting better and better through season beta, picking up a few podium results in the last couple of rounds, and they're actually up there, I think, joint second with Arrival Racing in the season beta standings. So about 2/3 of the way through then, and yeah, that was maybe a little bit slower. Another gizmo there, the stars, the yellow and purple stars, they're the gizmos, and so that just slows down some of this traffic. You can see there the dev bot in the distance is crawling along. Now that should make it easier to avoid it. They don't avoid it though, unfortunately, and so they end up slowing down as well. But if we maybe see some of the teams later on that are going to make a bit more of an attempt to miss the traffic, then that's where those gizmos can really help them. Because the slower the traffic is going, in theory, the easier it is to overtake them. So getting towards the end now then, we're probably only a few corners from home, and they will be targeting maybe, well, anything in excess of about 2.5 minutes left on the clock I think would be a good result here for Team ARG, and set a strong benchmark for the 3 other teams to follow. Down there, 2 obstacles, that was a bit sneaky, and they're both moving at different speeds, which made it really difficult to miss them, but that was a little bit of luck I think maybe there, which enabled them to avoid it. Now into this final couple of bends they go, time ticking on down. Can they get there before it's 2.5 minutes left? Nearly there. They've got another couple of corners to get through. No, they're not, are they? Going to be another 15-20 seconds or so. They need to try and avoid this bit of traffic. Yes, nicely. Oh, they just caught it, and then they hit it again properly because it got in the way into the next turn. It was almost perfect there. That was almost a perfect overtake. Right then, out of the last corner, I think now, heading towards the end of the 9.5 kilometres. Can they get more than 2 minutes on the clock? They make an effort there to avoid the obstacles, and they're off the road, but I think they crossed the line. I think they've got to the end because the time has stopped. So a spectacular ending there, but I think they did get to the finish just before they went off the road completely. So finishing with style, that's what they were doing, I think. 2 minutes and 13 seconds then we've got, but we'll get that all confirmed before the scoreboard goes up, but we think about 2 minutes and 13. That's not bad. They got quicker and quicker actually with every passing kilometre, and that last sort of 2 or 3 kilometres were really good. They made some nice overtakes. The vehicle was trying to weave in and out of some of the obstacles, and that was really, really exciting. And Rachel, a very, very exciting way to finish.
Yeah, you said it, Andy, didn't you? Drama at the end then for Team ARG, but this does look like they got a result on the board. Let's confirm that now then. So we've got the results up here. Can't quite see if there's a speed or a time on there, but we'll get confirmation as soon as there we go. So 2 minutes 13.991 left on the clock. I'm going to note this down as well, but let's chat to the team now as well and just get their thoughts on that. Right, Tobias, I'm going to come in. We're going to start with a drama at the end. What happened there?
Yeah, probably the 3 simultaneously fast moving obstacles in the end were a bit too much, but luckily it was enough to reach the finish line.
Yeah, and it makes it exciting, obviously, for all of us watching it as well. Lisa Marie, you said there you wanted to go with your first attempt. Wasn't quite to be. What do you think went wrong then? Why the car span off the track after about 2.5 minutes or so on the clock? Was it just the fact that you hit that vehicle? Tell us about that.
Actually, we have to analyze what happened there. Maybe it was the same problem we had at the end, but luckily after the finish line. So yeah, we have to check the data afterwards and see what went wrong there. But luckily we had a second attempt that we could finish.
Yeah, absolutely. Marcus, tell us about that then. I mean, let's talk about the positives. You got up to some great top speeds, about maybe 180 kilometers per hour, and you actually got a couple of those gizmos as well that you said you weren't really after. How many positives can you take away from those attempts?
Yeah, so in general, I would say still it was quite okay. Of course, we hit a lot of ghost cars and traffic, so but all the other things worked quite well. So we did the uploading in below 10 minutes, so this works fine. Also starting 2 times, having 2 attempts, so this works fine. So now we know, okay, we are fast enough for that, and now we can no more investigate the planner. And also the good thing is we are logging all the data and the configuration, and maybe there was some wrong configuration, and we will see that afterwards. So it was okay.
Yeah, you've got to obviously go back now and have a look through all that data. Max, so it seemed like you had one corner that proved quite tricky for the team as well. Tell us a little bit about that and what you know about that at the moment.
Yeah, you're right. I think it seems to be quite tricky for the planner to handle like the different accelerations and decelerations, and then every time we slow down, we have to like get up to speed, but it's also like, affects a lot of stuff. So like we said before, we have to look into the data in detail, but yeah, we'll figure it out.
Sorry guys.
Would you say then, Max, that was the trickiest part of it? The fact that you had to keep slowing down?
I think the other Max wants to mention something.
Yeah, I have a message for teams. Can you guys please clean up RMC and Tegra to prepare these units for the next team? Locked software.
Yeah. So to come back to the question,
That's probably a
if
Marcus
it's-
job then. Marcus was the guy who was obviously uploading everything, so he'll have to clear everything up as well. But quickly then, Tobias, 2:13 then, in terms of time credit. How do you think that's going to, I guess, rank later on after the next three teams have gone?
Yeah, hard to say, but I think, as Marcos said already, we hit quite a lot of things, and so I think it won't be that good in the end. But yeah, we go out with the positive things, and I think what was observable, what is really an issue we have to look at is once other ghost cars actually go slow, because we collected the gizmos. Then even there, the planning is not that easy, because of course you expect them to go faster, and you predicted it like that. And so sometimes if you collect it quite early, and there is no time to react fast enough. And then in the end, it would be better if the ghost car would just continue as it did before, instead of slowing down.
We don't want to make it easy for you, do we, Tobias? Anyway, you guys got a score on the table, so congratulations. We'll have to wait and see how the other teams do. It's tricky for you and everyone else, so thanks for taking part today. That's Team ARG then. After this short break, it is Arrival's turn at Offsprint in time. Let's see how they get on. Hello and welcome back to Roborace. Offsprint in time is our challenge tonight. It's a sim racing challenge. It's been very exciting already. If you have only just joined us, you have missed ARG having their first attempt, and actually they did pretty well. They had 2 minutes 13 left on the clock. That's the first team out on track, so that is the time remaining left to beat. Remember, it's as the 8 minutes ticks down. It's a time at the end of your go still left, which is a time that counts towards the end result tonight. So ARG first team, they're out of the competition then. They've had their go. Next up, it's Arrival Racing. Arrival, I know you are ready and waiting. This is your 10-minute countdown. So start uploading your software right now, if you can hear me, and we'll get a chance to speak to you guys in a minute. So 10 minutes on the clock is starting now. So it takes quite a while for these teams, obviously, to upload their software. So that's why we give them 10 minutes. But our second team then, taking the Offsprint in time challenge tonight, is Arrival Racing. Let's have a look at them now. Arrival, hi. Welcome to the show. You're the second team, of course, on track tonight. Pavel, great to see you. Firstly, I'm going to ask you how the team are feeling ahead of this Offsprint challenge. Can you guys hear us? Andre, can you hear us? Can you hear us? I'm not sure. Can you hear us, guys? I'm going to say, can you hear us? No, they cannot hear me. Okay, well, that probably means they're 10 minutes. They can't hear me. Classic, right? So I will just carry on chatting. He's turning around. He's diving off somewhere. There we go. Max, can you speak to them at all? Can you let them know that they have to start their upload? I'm not sure if anyone can tell them that.
Yeah, I think the team can start uploading the software.
Yeah, that would be great. They can. I think it looks like one of them is tapping away. Guys, can you hear us? Give us a wave if you can hear me. I'm not sure they can. So anyway, so let's just carry on telling you a little bit about what just happened then. So ARG, time left 2 minutes 13.991. So they did actually find it quite difficult, didn't they, to avoid the vehicles on track. They said that. They said it was also difficult because when you either hit or smash into a vehicle, it decreases your speed by either 40% for a hit for 5 seconds or 80% for a smash, we're calling it, for 5 seconds. And they also said they didn't want to try and collect any of the glitches, which actually slows down the metaverse world around them. But actually, they did actually get a few glitches in the end there. And that was a result of their 2 minute 13.99. I'm going to go back in and see if Arrival can hear us now. If you can hear me, put your hand up. International code for I can hear you and I'm ready to talk. Nope, still can't hear us. Anyway, so this is a sim challenge, like I said, and it's over a 9.55 kilometer circuit. And it's just a really cool way of kind of trying to get these dev bots ready for the future. Max, that's obviously the end goal, isn't it? To actually get AI cars out in the real world contesting traffic.
Sorry, Rachel.
Max
Can
is
you repeat, please?
Max is queued in and he's getting ready. He's getting the environment ready because Max, that's your job tonight, isn't it? To get everything ready. Does it look like Arrival are uploading? Max, can you see that?
Yeah. Arrival on
So
the
they are.
uploading the software, and they will notify us when the uploading is complete. I'll take control, launch the viewer, and then we can start the race, start the mission.
Well, it's a shame we couldn't hear from Arrival because, Andy, they're such a great team, aren't they, in season beta as well? They've been doing really well. They started, I guess, the season this time last year now, really strong. Had a bit of a dip in form, didn't they, as we progressed into the middle part of the season. And SIT, a team that are taking part tonight as well, kind of went like that in terms of their performance. But Arrival are going to really want to put a marker down tonight, aren't they?
Yeah, it was really interesting, wasn't it? Because I remember back when we first started season beta, like you said, Arrival were dominating. They were just so much better than the other teams. Not just faster, but they were interacting with the metaverse so much better than the others could. And then that started to change. Like you said, SIT really wrapped their head around the metaverse. They started to get a lot more collectibles, and Arrival, that sort of coincided with them making mistakes. They had a few off-track incidents. They had some results that were deleted because of exceeding track limits, I seem to remember, back at the Bedford Autodrome. So, yeah, that's really now becoming the fight, isn't it, between SIT and Arrival. And Arrival, as much as this is just a sim competition, you know, they'll really want to try and prove that they're still the ones to beat and that they've still got what it takes to beat the likes of SIT. And we've seen that dealing with the metaverse in this sim is really, really tricky to do. So if Arrival can tap into what they were doing right back at the start of season beta, then that could serve them well today.
Yeah, you said it is just a sim challenge, but again, like ARG just said, they said there's so much data that they can now take away from this challenge and probably put into developing their AI even further, coming back into, I guess, the season beta when we get back on track for that at the Las Vegas Motorsport Arena. And we have to remember as well, Arrival have been around Roborace from the very beginning, haven't they? So they have a lot of data built up from years, I'm going to say, gone by. So they do know what it takes. And I'm going to say they've developed as the metaverse has as well. But we saw earlier that ARG struggled, though, with the speed. So it kind of looked like they could control taking over the vehicles, but they just couldn't control it when their speed decreased like it had when they crashed into them.
Yeah, and what I thought was really interesting about what ARG were telling you actually was that it's not just a case of avoiding the first bit of traffic or the first obstacle you come across. It's the effect that has then on your planning for the next couple of corners. So the AI is sort of expecting the obstacles to be in certain places. It sees where the obstacle is, it tracks its speed, tracks its trajectory. But then when they hit an obstacle, everything slows down. All of those calculations go out the window because suddenly that obstacle or the vehicle they're about to overtake is in a completely different place than they expected it to be. So yeah, I think that was really interesting what they said, and how, you know, one little mistake or one little problem can really create that sort of snowball effect. So yeah, Arrival will want to try and avoid the same thing happening to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Andy, I think we can actually speak to Arrival now. I believe they can hear us. So we'll try and get a couple of questions whilst their 10-minute clock is counting down. Can you guys hear me now? Yes. Woohoo! We're back in business, guys. So you're uploading the software. Yes? Software is nearly uploaded. I can't hear you guys. Well, I think you can hear me, but I can't hear you now. This is what happens when we broadcast virtually. But I think, Max, are we ready to go? Give me a thumbs up if your software is ready to race. Max, can you tell us, is Arrival software ready to go?
As far as I know,
It's
they are
uploading.
still uploading their software.
Still uploading. Okay, that's okay. That's not a problem. We've got 10 minutes on the clock there. So it's got 1 minute left on the clock. Andy, so it's getting pretty close to crunch time now. 1 minute. They must be getting slightly worried. We said, didn't we, when we were asking ARG, are they worried about not getting their software uploaded in time? They said, well, yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen. And they did it actually really smoothly, and especially they rebooted themselves really smoothly as well, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, if it's taking Arrival this long to initially get downloaded in and get ready to go, then I'm sure they'll be hoping they don't have to reboot, because that would take a bit of time again, wouldn't it? But, you know, this is all part of the learning process, and we mustn't forget in all of this, this is really difficult stuff. You know, we're not talking sort of basic computing here. This is stuff that really is very complex, and it's one of those things where if something isn't quite right or something goes slightly wrong, it can knock the whole thing out of sync. So yeah, I'm sure Arrival, they've got some very, very clever people on the case, and they'll be trying to get in. But yeah, the time, as you said, ticking down, that will certainly be making them nervous. Shame we couldn't talk to them there. It would have been nice to have got some of their thoughts ahead of time. But I think I'm hearing they might just be ready to go, and in the nick of time as well. I don't know how long was left of the 10 minutes, but we must have been down to the final few seconds there. But Max, I don't know whether you can confirm to us, are they ready to go?
Arrival is ready. I am preparing the environment for the race.
Excellent, good stuff. So they'll hopefully be able to get going very, very shortly indeed. So as Rachel said, Arrival have started off about 12 months ago now, really, as the team to beat. They do lie joint second in the season beta standings with ARG, who were the first team to go. So that's quite an interesting sort of private battle going on between the two, as Arrival try and get one back up on their big rivals. And of course, they may well have been watching ARG's attempt. They may have seen what happened, and they'll be hoping that they don't have a repeat of that. I really can't wait, though, to see what Arrival's strategy is coming into this. Will they try and interact with the metaverse a little bit more? And will they therefore be able to set a faster time? So Arrival then getting ready to go, as ARG have now completed their run. I'm sure they're also watching on with interest. Polymove, who are out next, they'll be keeping an eye on Arrival just in case this becomes the time to beat. And the time to beat at the moment, we know, is about 2 minutes and 13 seconds left. So, as I was saying, my first chance really to see this this Roborace sim virtual world that we're racing in. I've been getting into a little bit of sim racing myself over the last nearly a year now. As I said, nothing quite like this, but it's so nice to see that Roborace is making a move into the virtual. The sim is something that actually the teams have been using a lot anyway to try and test in between events, and that's something that sim racing has really been able to help out sort of traditional motorsport competitors with as well. It's there are some highly accurate and realistic sims out there that professional racing drivers can jump in and they can learn an awful lot from sitting in their office or in their bedroom on the sim that they can then apply into a real car. And I'm sure it's a similar thing with Roborace. Obviously, the teams aren't jumping into the dev bots themselves, but the program that they write and the AI software that they're developing, they can test it here and hopefully apply it into the real thing at some point in the future. So what we're seeing here does take on a little bit of extra relevance as a result. So we got a glimpse there, I think, of the environment. Almost ready to go. I'm not actually... Oh, there we go. Now we're almost ready to get them off the line. Then the time credit has been added of 8 minutes. And we are now, I think, heading into the final countdown. Team watching on there on the right of your screen. It was great to see some of the reactions from ARG as things went wrong in particular. That was a bit cruel maybe to enjoy seeing them going through the slightly less positive aspects of the competition, but it's still nice to get that raw sort of that raw emotion out of them. It's easy to forget, and I've said this a few times with Roborace, so it's easy to forget that there are real people behind these teams. It's not all about computers and robotics and whatnot, and it's nice to see their genuine passion for the sport. So I'm guessing here, Max, that we've run into a little bit of a hold-up, have we? What's going on?
As I can see, the rival is still managing their ADS software.
Okay, so it's having a slight delay then in getting things going then. Do we know roughly how long this might take to sort? I think Max is a little busy at the moment, isn't he? I should know. Yeah. I can't multitask either, especially when it comes to operating
something wrong with
the system. So we'll let Max... there we go. We might be getting somewhere now. So I'm afraid I'd love to be able to talk you through what all of this is, but this is all way over my head. But the teams, I'm sure, are working hard on getting this fixed as well. So the look on Max's face is a look of pure confusion. It's what I'm familiar with myself. Do we know what's causing this problem, Max?
Yeah, some problems. I'm trying to sort out what exactly is going wrong.
Okay, so we don't know what's causing this yet then. Well, let's hope this doesn't take too much longer, because the team are itching to get going, and we're excited to see what they can do out there on the virtual course, this 9.5 kilometer course that they'll be taking to. We've seen that it's pretty demanding. It's been catching people out already. ARG, the first team that have been. If you're just joining us, then you've only missed one of the 4 teams. Team ARG, Autonomous Racing Graz, they went out and they completed the 9.5 kilometers with still almost 2.25 minutes left on the clock. 2 minutes and 13 seconds they had left of their 8-minute credit. And they reached a top speed of about 200 kilometers now, but as we've documented it already, they weren't really interacting with the metaverse that well. So a rival Rach, in theory, should, if they ever get downloaded into the sim, should be able to beat that.
So let's see, Arrival, can you hear me again now? And can I
Yes,
hear you?
I hope
Yay,
yes.
I can hear you. Woo! So,
Yeah,
can
but
you
I
talk
see
us
that
through maybe some... Have you got any problems at the moment? Can you tell us maybe a little bit about what's happening right now?
No, it was good actually. I can hear you finally. No, true. I'm moving in your camera. Because on my screen I'm just freezed actually.
You're frozen on mine as well, but we'll go with it. I can hear you, so it's fine.
Okay, that's fine. You have static picture, that's fine.
I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it? We're trying to kind of make history here, and we can't see you,
Well, actually,
but it's fine.
Well, it's fine actually. If you ask any Formula One team how much time they require to be well prepared for the event, I would say at least 3 days. That's why we're in really challenging position to do that just in 5 minutes actually. That's why you can estimate how much stronger we have to be compared to even brilliant Formula One teams.
Absolutely. I love the comparing ourselves to one team. I love that. We're in there with some great motorsport series, aren't we? But firstly then, have you uploaded your software? My first question.
Yeah, actually we have struggled, and I still don't know the exact reason why we have struggled. That's why, yeah, I think guys are just trying to upload the software and making run smoothly. That's why we are still in progress.
How close do you think are you to being completed in uploading terms?
Well, I think just a couple of minutes to sort out some issues. Yeah.
Okay, and then when you are uploaded and you take to the circuit here, what do you think is going to be the most challenging part? Because there are so many different factors to consider, aren't they, today?
Well, sorry for that, but I'm also trying in parallel to sort out the issue. Can you please repeat that?
Yeah, I mean, there are so many factors, aren't there, in the metaverse? There's the moving vehicles, there's the obstacles, of course, there's the glitches as well. What are you worried about this? How prepared is the team for all these different challenges?
Well, I would say there are lots of complexities, definitely. Even the movement of the objects is just non-linear, and also we have non-linear tire and vehicle model behavior. And just imagine how difficult this is to manage in our software, and especially when you try to recreate unified system, which should be vehicle agnostic, for example, environment agnostic, and yeah, that's why this is quite challenging task. But I think we are going in right direction, and today our main goal actually is just to represent stable run, including all these complexities at the same time. That's why let's see what we can do today and show.
Yeah. Did you watch ARG's run just now? Because they actually said they were going to try and not really take into consideration the glitches. You just said that you want obviously a good run, but is there something that you're not going to try and focus on, like the glitches or the moving traffic, for example?
Sorry. Actually, we found an issue. An issue is with the wheel speed sensor on the simulator. That's why, sorry for that. We're just trying to sort out this, how we can handle
We've
that.
lost you as well now, guys. You've just gone dark in the screen.
Yeah, really.
Turn your camera off. You don't want us looking at you anymore.
Ah, okay.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
So there's a wheel spin problem in the simulator, is that correct?
Yeah, wheel speed sensor problem, actually.
Speed sensor, okay.
Yeah, exactly. So we're receiving an error from that. That's why, yeah. As you know, we are creating really safe software, which can handle every failure, every error in each sensor. That's why, based on our safety logic, for now, we cannot drive the vehicle. But let's see, probably we can override some of the faults just in some short period of time. So let us give some time to investigate what we can do and what we can override in our software.
Yeah, and ARG then, so they had 2 minutes 13.991 left on the clock when they'd completed their 9.55k traffic sprint. Do you think you'll be near kind of time, or what are you trying today in terms of time?
Well, actually, we were not trying to recreate the typical race scenario, because, as you know, it highly depends on the obstacles, on the behavior. That's why it's quite challenging to predict the time with obstacles, with accelerations target, and so on. That's why I would say, again, our main goal is just not to represent good time, but to represent really stable and correct behavior of our vehicle, which shows mostly safe and automotive-based behavior.
Okay. Great. Well, thank you for giving us a little bit of an insight into what Team Arrival are trying to achieve. We'll actually give you a little bit of a break at the moment, and we'll come back after a break and see your first attempt on track here at the Offsprint in Time Challenge. I can see Andy still sitting by as well. Andy, we're going to take a short break now. So guys at home, do bear with us and come back and join us in a couple of moments' time.
All right. Thank you.
Hello and welcome back to Roborace for tonight's Sim Racing Challenge Offsprint in Time. Thank you so much for bearing with us, because before the break, Arrival had a few problems uploading their software into the dev bot. So we're just waiting to see if they are ready. And I've just actually been told they are ready and raring to go with attempt number 1 here tonight. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Andy and Max to take you through Arrival's first attempt.
Yeah, thanks, Rach. So took a bit of time, but we got there in the end, and we are, I think, finally going to get the Arrival team to arrive on the start line and hopefully leave that start line at speed and set a good time over the 9.5 kilometre course. But there was a member of our production crew who shall remain nameless, said just before we went live, what could go wrong? And I think Arrival might have come up with a few ideas of things that could go wrong, but this is a very experimental thing, and it is to be expected, I guess, that a couple of things might not go quite according to the script.
I think we just saw our next team as well, Polymove. They're ready, raring to go, but first we've got to see Arrival, remember. So we'll have to wait and see how they get on. They've had a few problems, but they are a force to be reckoned with in Roborace, especially in season beta. They started that season, as we just mentioned earlier on the show, so strongly. Got overtaken a little bit during the middle of the season by SIT, but we'll be wanting to bounce back with our Sim Racing Challenge tonight and see how they get on, because Sim Racing is really crucial as well for the team's development. We've seen them use it a lot in season beta as a way to develop their racing AIs and just progress in terms of the championship as well. So that's actually how the teams practice for our events at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway circuit, because obviously we can't afford for our DevBot 2.0s to go out on track and have something happen to them, because they're £800,000 pieces of machinery there. So simulator is obviously a great way to avoid the DevBots crashing into walls or having any problems of them, which does cause us a lot of work and a lot of money as well. So yeah, sim racing are obviously very popular in esports. We see it, don't we, in the F1 esports championship, and I actually host one as well, called the V10 R League. So there's a lot of different esports sim racing championships happening as well, but we are making a completely new one, world breaking of course, because it's autonomous racing driving. It's fully electric, fully autonomous, and it's completely new. We're not talking about lap times or laps. We are in a 9.55k traffic sprint, we're calling it tonight. So the teams, they have 8 minutes on the clock, and that counts down as soon as our mission control says go. And then they have to complete the circuit, and then it's the time left remaining once the 9.55k circuit has been completed, which we are recording as their time. So ARG, our first team who went up today, they had 2 minutes 13.991 left on the clock. So that is the time to beat so far. Arrival Racing, they said they're not going to make it too tricky for them this time out. So they are ready, and they are ready to go, and we'll have to wait and see how they get on in their first attempt. Remember, each team have 2 attempts and 4 teams competing tonight as well. So we have Polymove, who actually I think if the eagle-eyed people out there saw, we just saw a glimpse of them a little bit earlier. And then SIT as well. They'll be taking to our virtual track a little bit later. And they're sitting nice and pretty at the top of season beta as well. They've been doing so well throughout the season in Roborace. They've just kind of got to grips with everything because the season has progressed. They started slowly, but it's kind of progressing as the season done. They've done that absolutely perfectly. We'll have to Ilya Shimchik, There, Lev, he's out in force again tonight, ready to tell us a little bit about that team's plan for our sim racing challenge. But yeah, ARG, they've gone. They have a time already recorded, but this is Arrival Racing. Formidable force in Roborace. They are our second team to take to the track tonight. Looks like they are nearly ready to go. Fingers crossed. I've got both my fingers crossed. I'm sure Andy and Max have got theirs crossed as well, because we'd love to see them get a decent run tonight.
Yeah, that's right, Rach. This is the most progress we've made so far with Arrival. We can actually see the dev bot now on the line, and we're hoping that their AI will very shortly be in control of it, and we can get it off along this this traffic sprint, like you said, and see how they get on. Interesting to hear their strategy there, wasn't it? How they're saying they're not going for speed, they're going for accuracy and safety, and making sure that they avoid all of these obstacles, which is kind of what Arrival Racing have always been about, actually. Rachel mentioned earlier on in the show that they were kind of the first team to really get involved with Roborace, and it was very much from the angle of, you know, developing technology for the roads and for real-world applications. And so no surprise, really, that that's where they excelled in Season Beta, and it's what they're sort of prioritising here in the sim as well. And actually, that could turn out to be a winning strategy. We saw with ARG how much time they lost from hitting those obstacles. Remember, if you hit an obstacle slightly, then you have a 40% speed deceleration for 5 seconds. If you hit them properly, though, that speed deceleration goes to 80%. And we really saw that was slowing them right down from speeds well in excess of 100 kilometers an hour down to maybe 25 kilometers an hour. So if Arrival can avoid doing that, sounds like that's their plan, then that could well turn out to be a winning strategy anyway. So we think that the team are ready, and Max, I can see, is just giving them the final instructions then. So I'm hoping, Max, that means we're going to be good to go very shortly.
Okay, looks like we are ready to go.
Excellent. Well, let's get them going then. Let's get Arrival Racing out into the traffic sprint, then see how they're going to perform. Remember, the more of that time credit that they have left, or the less that they spend, if you like, then the better. They've got 2 minutes and 13.391 to beat. That's the amount of credit that ARG
I can start the
left.
race.
Go for it then. Let's get it started, Max.
Yeah. Starting now. Go.
And we wait. Now, I think the car should have gone by now. So this doesn't look like it's going to me. I'm no expert, but I don't think that car's going anywhere just yet. So is this another problem then for Arrival, do you think, Max? It looks like it must be, because we've got the DevBot traffic whizzing through, but no movement from our DevBot. So yeah, this ain't right, is it? The time is ticking down. Look, 7.5 minutes. So Arrival, they're keeping us waiting for this, aren't they? Hopefully it'll be worth the wait when they do get moving. Max, do you have any news for us? Any idea what's going on?
Looks like NADS didn't start to go.
Ah, okay. So is that something that the team might have to reset then? Guessing that is going to be the case then. So this is going to maybe take another couple of minutes. Did the team have to reset then now, Max, to get this fixed? Yeah, so looks as though the simulator is up and running. It is, as Max said, an issue with Arrival Racing Len. Let's see if he can contact the team and get this problem fixed.
Looks like Arrival don't start the race, but according to the rules, they have the second attempt, and Arrival team, please take control and tune your software to start properly next time.
You have been told. Right, well, it might take a couple of minutes then, this to reset, will it, Max? Any idea how long before they can start that second attempt?
I guess it will take a couple of minutes.
Okay, so stand by, everyone. We will endeavour to get the arrival run to you as soon as we can. So this is really not what we expect from Arrival, is it? To be honest, they've, as I said, they've started off their Roborace competition with so much success, but it has kind of been the trend lately. They've had a couple of technical issues, and they're just starting to slip a little bit. I was hoping that might not be the case in the sim, but looks as though they are continuing now to face these problems. Rach, this has become a bit of a common sight, hasn't it, of late? Arrival racing in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. It must be really frustrating as well, because it's the momentum. They knew they had 10 minutes to download their software, and that didn't quite go to plan. They're having that, and I'm sure that got them a little bit flustered. We saw, didn't we, when we were trying to speak to them, they kind of all suddenly scream, which shows maybe the urgency in them trying to load that software, and then they get on the start line. It looks like they're ready to go, and then the ADS possibly hasn't been downloaded correctly. Possibly they have done some calculations which don't really add up, because it looked like the metaverse was working, and we could see there the time just ticking away, which is part and parcel of this, isn't it? It's called Offsprint in time. We want them to have time left at the end of the run. So I hope they're not too flustered after that first attempt, and they can have a quick look, if that's possible, and see what went wrong and try and rectify that for this second attempt. But doesn't quite bode well, does it, Andy, for their second attempt, if what we've just seen is anything to go by?
No, we've seen this in the past with teams when they have a problem like this, especially when it's downloading the AI, into the dev bots. Sometimes that's something they just can't solve. It's not because they're not on site and they don't have especially here, a physical car. It's not like if your car breaks down and you send it to a mechanic and they open up the bonnet and they say, oh yeah, that's broken, so they take the old one out, they put a new one in. If there's a problem here, it's not the work of a minute to find the solution, and you can't physically just replace something that's broken. It's what makes computers so infuriating in general. So, well, at least in my experience anyway. Yeah, this is why sometimes it just cannot be solved as quickly as they'd like, really. But as I said before, Arrival, they know a thing or two about this autonomous technology. So I'm sure that they will be, well, I know they're working on trying to get a fix here. It is, we think, a problem with Arrival rather than an issue with the sim, because we saw the sim was working. And if anyone can fix it, I guess Arrival can.
Well, just try and bring Max in. Max, do you know what the issue is? Can you see what Arrival are trying to implement into their ADS at the moment, or what is going on with the team?
Yeah, Arrival faced some issue with wheels sensor.
Okay, they said that in the beginning, didn't they?
Yeah, and they are trying to resolve the issue right now.
Okay, yeah, like how long will that take? What does that mean? Can you try and explain that to us, please? The wheel sensor issue.
I'm asking guys, they are on it. Let me ask them again how long it will take. Let me clarify.
What is the wheel sensor issue though,
estimation
Max?
time arrival. Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit more about what a wheel sensor issue is?
So looks like the software of the Arrival should match the exact sensors data, and maybe something wasn't counted.
Okay, so something wasn't completely. Well, we can see how long though it takes for a route to get the issues ironed out, so they can have a go at their second attempt. because each team obviously do get 2 attempts, because it's unfair, obviously, if that doesn't happen. But yeah, it's pretty tough, because I'm feeling at the moment, we've given them, let me have a look at my clock here, we're probably giving them about 35, 40 minutes. I mean, Andy, something in me saying in a minute, if they don't get their act together, we are saying you're out of here.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a shame for the teams that are still waiting to go, isn't it? Because they're probably, I'm sure Polymove are sat there now saying, well, we can go, we've got our stuff ready, you know, so we can get downloaded in 10 minutes. So I'm sure they're eager to have a crack at it. But, you know, we're not that mean. We'll give them a bit more time to try and get the problem fixed. And, you know, Arrival have been friends of Roborace for quite some time. So I suppose we owe them maybe a couple of extra minutes to try and figure this one out. But, yeah. We can't be here all night, I suppose, so they're going to have to try and get it sorted. I've got places to be at 7 o'clock this evening, so I've got some sim racing my own to go and do. So yeah, I hope they get it done before then, Rach.
Well, yeah, I mean, Andy's going to leave us, so I'm not sure what's happening then. Maybe I'm taking over and being a person that commentates and talks. I have no idea. But yeah, Arrival again. This it sounds actually. Oh. I'm being told by powers that be. Max, can you confirm Arrival are possibly ready for their second attempt?
They said that they are ready.
Woo! Confirmation! Okay. Mission control, which is Max. Can you get them in and can you start their second attempt? We hope. We hope that was a yes from Max. Max now is sorting out the environment, so he kind of gets completely stuck into what he's doing and to distract, because it's pretty crucial. Okay, it looks like we are almost there. You see, there was a coding like that, I get quite excited. I'm like, yes, we can see a DevBot 2.0, Andy. It looks like we're about to go.
Oh, I think so. I'm trying not to get my hopes up too much, Rach, but I can see the Las Vegas circuit. I can't see a car at the moment, but I can see the circuit, which means the environment is loaded. That time credit, I think, needs to be reset, doesn't it, first to 8 minutes, because that's 5 minutes and 34 at the moment, which I think is how it stopped before the last run was sorted. So once that's been done, once Arrival are loaded in, we should hopefully get them underway, and let's hope this is worth the wait then to see what this really, really successful team in Roborace are able to achieve. So we're back to the code again, which makes my head hurt, this trying to understand what all of this means.
Looks like we have some issue from our side, from the Metaverse side. The Unreal Viewer is not connected to the simulator server, and it will take a couple of minutes again to restart the software.
Okay,
we have a little unresolved issue, and we need to have exact start order of our software, and it looks like the order was wrong.
Right. Okay. So this one we can't blame on Arrival. Then this is a problem with the metaverse. So we'll let them off for the time being. We won't give them too much of a telling off for this latest delay. Hopefully only a couple of minutes though, everyone. So thank you everyone watching at home for your patience with this. We were so close, Rach. We were so close, but another couple of minutes to wait.
I know the metaverse has now had a problem. Max, are you trying to actually sort the metaverse problem out yourself now? What are you tapping away there doing behind the scenes?
I restarted our software, and now Arrival need to restart their software next, because I restarted the simulator server and the connection was dropped. I asked Arrival to restart their software, and they are on it now.
Okay, so when you mean restart their software, does that mean they have to download again?
No, it's just cancel script execution in the terminal and start it again.
Turn it off and on again, Rach. I think that's what he means.
Drop all connections, yeah.
Oh, goodness me, there's a lot to take in for sure. Andy, you're just going to be turning off a bit later and not turning back on again. I know, because you're off, aren't you? Okay, Max, I think I heard the crucial words. We are ready. Did I hear them?
Arrival is ready. Let me check.
Are you ready? Is the metaverse ready?
Is ready. Yeah, the viewer is ready,
Yes.
and I can start mission
They're
logic.
the words I
and,
was longing to hear, Max. Let's go, Andy. Let's go.
Right then, third time lucky then. Let's see if it's going to work this time. Then we've had problems for Arrival, problems for the metaverse, but now let's hope it's all in sync. It's all working as it should, and yeah, I want to see how they do here. So yeah, there we go. So we've got a track, we've got a car. We should have a metaverse. Hopefully, that's three of the
I'm
things we
activating
need.
those
The
cars.
fourth we need is a team that is able to get their car off the line. So let's see, can we get them started this time?
We are ready to go. I can start the race.
We're ready to go. Excellent.
Yeah. Okay, let's go. Yeah,
And there
they are started.
Excellent.
Woohoo!
A collective sigh of relief from everyone. So Arrival are off then, and onto their
Come
run. Then the
on.
time starts to tick down, and let's see how they do. Like to see, there we go, through the first corner. Well, they're going slowly. That's not a good sign. That probably means they've hit something. They went for a gizmo there though, and that does help them out a little bit more. It just slows down the metaverse a little bit. If they get one of those gizmos, remember, that slows down the obstacles that they're trying to avoid, and in theory makes it easier for them to overtake them. And that was what they said their priority was going to be, remember. They wanted to be able to safely negotiate all of the traffic, all of the ghost cars, the dynamic obstacles. And there you can see some of the traffic based around this course. The well, slowing down again there, I think, as they make their way through. But so too, I'm afraid, is Arrival's machine. So you can see the difficulty here, though, because they're trying to plan how to overtake the traffic, but they've also got to try and avoid the obstacle. They're weaving around there to try and miss it, and they slow down so much to avoid it, and then still end up hitting it anyway. So it's almost a double penalty, really. Through the tight right-hander, this is where ARG had their problems earlier on, I think, at this corner. And although Arrival stay on the track, they did hit the ghost car there, so a little bit of a delay. They go for a gizmo. Now that will slow everything down, but they've also hit an obstacle, I think, which is why they slowed down at that point. They do safely miss the next one. So we are almost 2 minutes in then, so we should be approaching, if they're on ARG's pace anyway, we should be approaching about the 1/3 distance, about 2.2 kilometres into the run very shortly. I'd say maybe they're a little bit slower than ARG at this point, but it's hard to get a proper gauge of that. Speed building there a little bit. The fastest part of the circuit is sort of round the back. Oh, that didn't look right. No, they've stopped. They've stopped. Arrival have stopped. So they sort of had a bit of a glitch there, didn't they? Where they hit an obstacle, I think, and then it was like something either disconnected or okay. Max is on it then. See what he can find out from them. But that was really strange because
like
they never went off the track.
Looks like an Arrival exceeded the track limits and they are out of road.
Okay, so that's the end of their second attempt then. Does that mean that they're out, Max?
Yeah. The mission is failed because they was out of road.
What a shame, what a shame. Well, you can see the disappointment on their faces, and well, it took a long time to get there, and unfortunately we didn't get very far because they went out of track limits, maybe trying to avoid an obstacle. Perhaps we can find out from them in a moment or two. But that is a dramatic end then to their run. We saw ARG go off the track a couple of times, but at least they managed to wait until they'd completed the 9.5 kilometers before they properly went off the track. Arrival just barely exceeding track limits, and again, that's something that the sim replicates from the real world competition. That is something that would happen there. If they went over the white lines, then the run is aborted and they have to start again. So dramatic stuff then. Rach, 2 teams down. Arrival Racing down a little bit, I'd imagine, after that. Not how they wanted that to go, was it?
Yeah, that's not how Arrival would have liked to have finished their second attempt then, with a DNF, which I'm sure will pop up alongside their name. Arrival Racing, then you can see on the results at the moment, with their time credit to 13.991. Really unfortunate for Arrival. They had a couple of problems, didn't they? Then Roborace had a couple of problems in the metaverse, and we thought, yes, finally, second attempt, something's going to happen here for Team Arrival, and it wasn't to be today for the guys. So I'm going to bring them in now and have a quick chat. Guys, really disappointing. Let's talk about the first attempt firstly. Was it something with the ADS? Did it not download correctly? I know it took quite a long time firstly. Yeah, tell me about why you think the ADS wasn't working.
Yeah, as Max already mentioned, we require some specified sequence for launching our software, which is purely done for the vehicles. That's why, yeah, probably we found some misinteraction with our simulator. That's why I think that's the issue.
And
But
Max
we will
mentioned that
investigate.
you might have had a wheel sensor problem.
Yeah, we will define what's the exact problem, and probably next time we will be rid of that.
Yeah, really disappointing. And then obviously we had to wait a little bit, didn't you? And you had to wait for the metaverse to be rebooted. How did that affect you?
Well, nothing at all actually. In terms of software readiness, in terms of parameters, we didn't change everything. That's why it could be really same, even starting from the first.
And then your
attempt.
second attempt didn't quite go to plan either. Max said it looked like that you'd exceeded track limits. Was that the case, and why do you think that happened?
Yeah, actually, it's quite difficult to say without looking at software. That's why, yeah, we will just say you straight after looking at logs. But I'm pretty sure that, yeah, probably that was the issue, probably too aggressive maneuver, and we are out of track.
Yeah, really disappointed, guys. Thank you, though, for taking part today, and we can't wait to see you back and to sort out your problems for next time we take part in this challenge. So, Rival, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, no worries. We'll come back stronger. See you next time.
Absolutely will. Thank you. We'll see you next time. And I'm actually going to say as well, Andy, you're off now as well. Enjoy wherever you're up to. What are you up to? Can you let us know?
Sim racing, actually. I'm entered into a sim racing competition, which unfortunately is taking place tonight. So I'm hoping I can get loaded into the sim. That's my first problem, and as long as I do, yeah, I'll be doing my best to do well in that. But hope you enjoy the rest of the evening. Certainly lots to talk about so far, isn't there? And 2 teams still to go, and hopefully we'll get to see a bit more on-track action from them.
Absolutely. Thanks, Andy. Guys at home, do not go and follow Andy and tune in to watch him. Stay with us. We have 2 more teams still to go. Polymove is coming up after this short break. Do come back and join us. Hello and welcome back to Roborace for our sim racing challenge this evening called Offsprint in Time. Welcome. My name's Rachel Stringer and I'm your host for this evening. What have you missed then? You're probably wondering. Well, ARG, they were our first team on track. They were pretty good. They completed after their second attempt and they had 2 minutes 13.991 left on the clock. So they were our benchmark for the rest of the teams. Arrival Racing went second. Unfortunately, after a lot of waiting and stopping and starting, they actually didn't record a time. So it is now up to our third team of the evening, Polymove, to see how they get on. Polymove, I know you're listening. I know you're standing ready and raring to go. This is your 10-minute countdown right now. So please start uploading your software into the car. I believe you can do that right now. Okay, so let's get on with the show. So Polymove are starting their download. Let's meet Polymove, our third team, right now. Hi, Team Polymove. How are you doing? I hope you can all hear me. Can you give me a wave if you can hear me, or put a hand up?
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, we are in business.
Uh,
Right, team, you are third up tonight. We've had a couple of problems so far. Arrival there, not getting a time on track. Did you watch it, and how has that made you feel heading into your attempt? Alberto, we'll go with you first.
Well, it's like quite strange to see them.
Yeah. Sorry.
I've just lost you. I actually could hear you, and now I can't quite hear you.
Can you hear me now? Sorry.
Yes, now I can.
Oh, okay.
Can you
sorry.
possibly
Problem with
repeat
the
that,
microphone.
please?
Oh yeah, sorry. I was just saying that it was a bit of a pity to not see Arrival on track because of the problems they had, like not completing the race. But I hope that we can manage to complete our race. Now, sorry, I'll try to be as more responsive as possible, but I'm trying also to download the software. So I think I can let you with Giacomo and Romy, that are like our youngest team members and are really
Okay, so you're uploading, correct?
yeah, I'm in the process. So since we have just 10 minutes, I will
I'll leave you then.
thank you. Sorry for being like I'm not really able to focus on two things at the same time.
Okay, so who would like to take over then in my questioning right now? So, Giacomo, I'm going to come over to you then, if you'd like to answer. So, what is the team's plan tonight? Obviously, we've seen some of the teams take on slightly different ways to approach everything that's been put in their way. So, ARG, they weren't going to go, were they, and try and collect some of the collectibles. What's your approach? Oh, don't think we can hear each other again. Andrea, can you hear me, Andrea?
Yes, I can. Also, Rodrigo can.
We are.
Who else?
Can you hear me?
Rodrigo.
Okay, now we hear
Rodrigo,
you,
can you hear me? Jacko, can you hear me?
Loud and
Can you
clear.
hear me?
Yes, Jacko, finally. Okay, talk me through the team strategy. We saw that ARG weren't going for the glitches. What's your plan today?
Well, we are trying to experiment a bit some low level controller, and we are trying a lot of new logics, quite innovative, and then we want to try in a safe environment of the simulation. This the improvement we are trying to make. We have a bit rebuild the code.
Andrea, can you please let Arrival complete cleaning? And then your 10 minutes
Team,
for
it's me,
uploading
it's,
software will start.
Yes, I was me in the Roborace, in the speed goat machine. I logged out, so I'm waiting for you to give me the okay to log in the machine.
Okay, thank you very much.
So it seems, I think you heard that Max just saying that Arrival actually to log out of the system before Polymove's 10 minutes starts for them to upload their software.
But
So Polymoove have to have a bit
somewhere
of a pause, I believe, at the moment.
somebody is still on the HIL environment.
Okay,
Sorry, so
who is
it's
that
both
somebody?
the laptops, both the computers.
Yeah,
we have to
please,
stop
both.
using?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, there was a misunderstanding. Sorry for messing up with Arrival software.
No worries.
I think that okay. Then we'll wait our turn and we're back for chatting. I think.
So you've been told off then there for starting too quickly. That's probably my fault. I told you to go. I said your 10 minutes starts
Oh,
now. I was
no,
told
no.
by powers that be, so whatever.
We heard this 10 minutes. We heard this 10 minutes to the go, so we started rushing and loading our stuff on the car. But yeah, since we are sharing the same simulator with the team before, it wasn't the best idea. Sorry for that.
No,
But yeah, if I
gosh.
can
Oh.
Oh, sorry. If I can jump in the discussion, Giacomo was like really answering well to like what you asked about our strategy. But yeah, as you said, we worked a lot to improve our strategy to adapt it to this new format of race. With it's a kind of different from what we did in the last runs. So we hope that we got the real target, and we will be able to. I hope we will be able to give a good show of our AI driver.
Yeah, we do as well. And how does this simulator differ from the one that you've perhaps used in Roborace season beta? Because I know all the teams use the simulator quite a lot then to develop their racing AIs. Is it the same simulator, or does it differ slightly?
It's being updated constantly because like it's a different job to have a simulator that matches the real vehicle. That is the most important thing for us, that we test stuff on the simulator and then we are sure that it will work also on the real car. So it's on a constantly upgrading process, and like today we are seeing this new release with new graphics that is really, really awesome. So we are really like, it's not only functional for us, but it's only also nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to pause there and just check with Max. Have arrival finished cleaning up? Yeah, Max?
Yeah, arrival finished.
Arrival are finished.
Please,
so Polymove, you can now upload your software.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I'll let you start with that.
Sorry, Polymove, let me start the simulator.
So simulator is Max is starting. The team is starting. We're getting somewhere, guys at home. Please bear with us. Love this. This is our third team. Polymove. So you guys are quite new as well to Roborace. You joined midway through the season. I'll let anybody who wants to answer this one. You can just jump in. How have you been finding it, and how has it been joining in with this project?
Oh, well, I don't know if Giacomo wants to go ahead. I can just say that we jumped in. How long was it? I think it was March, our first run, and it was quite difficult to start getting up to speed with the other teams. But
Team,
like,
please
I think
go on.
we did a good job, and now I think Maxime is ready, so I'll get back to work. Sorry, Giacomo, please go ahead.
No.
Yeah.
Jacko, I'll come to you, but I think, Max said you guys can upload. Yes, I can hear you, because obviously we're just talking there. You know, you joined in March. I think it was 2 events ago now, and you know you're already on the leaderboard. 2,100 points. So it shows that you guys kind of got your season off pretty quickly and smoothly as well. Were you pleased with how you started when you came into season beta of Roborace?
Well, for us it was quite a rush because we have very low know-how at the moment with respect to our other teams. By the way, we tried to do our best in working on mainly on the front side of the ADS only. Now we're trying to explore also other aspects of the controller, but we have I think with a good scheduling of the job, of the work, and then we, with a limited team, we were able to achieve satisfying results, I think.
Yeah, so obviously you've had a little bit of time then since the last time you were on track to kind of reset and continue developing the AI. What have you been doing in that time off? I guess you were involved, were you in the last sim challenge as well a couple of weeks ago?
I will answer to that if you want. I can jump in.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, during this time we have been working like really hard on the, let's say, implementation stuff on the simulator. So we have like a really good platform in which we can test our ADS driver and we can have an idea of how it's going to behave. We spend a lot of time like tuning our software and our controllers after, let's say, last test session where we spin to win was the hashtag on Instagram because we spun the car during the test session. But we learned a lot from let's say this session. We found like there was a problem in our code. We worked a lot in order to solve it. And we have practiced like many hours on the simulators, improving our software in order to manage like multi-vehicle scenarios with many ghost cars, loots and obstacles. So let's see how it's gonna be today with so many, let's say, busy traffic in Las Vegas. And hopefully we will finish the race. Let's see how it's to go.
Yeah, well, 23 ghost cars, haven't you, got to contest this time out? You said there you've kind of done quite a lot of testing on the simulator. Have you actually given yourself a trial run before with the 8 minutes on the clock? And if so, what time did you end up with at the end of the run?
I mean, we tried many times, and usually it was like around, I think, let's say, Graz times, so around 6 minutes of full run. But I mean, with 23 ghost cars, anything can happen. So it's really, let's say, arbitrary. We can be quicker, we can be slower, we can fail. Let's see.
What worries you the most about the mission today and everything that Roborace have thrown at this?
Let's say that the most worrying thing definitely is the crossing obstacles. They were introduced like 10 days ago during the last Teams meeting, and they were kind of new for us because our software wasn't, let's say, ready to react to these kind of new obstacles. So we had to tune our, let's say, ADS driver, and we had to, let's say, teach our ADS driver to avoid these kind of obstacles. Hopefully we achieved decent results, but I mean, the track today and the race will have the last word on our work. So let's see how it will go.
Team, please.
Those crossing obstacles.
Let me know if you are ready.
Does it look like you're ready, guys? You've stopped.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Let's go then.
Cool.
Green flag.
I think we can get Max. Can we get on track? You sorting out the environment? Let's go. If Max can sort out the environment, we are going. Polymove, good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, so Polymove, of course, have 2 attempts, don't they? So this is their first. So that was their 10-minute clock we were just waiting for there. So now the 8-minute clock will show up on screen shortly. So you'll be able to see when that starts. And that does signify, or signal even, I'm going to say, making up words. Now, there we go. 8 minutes on the clock. Unfortunately,
team, what race mode
you
I
have
need to choose?
Max is
Race
One
mode
is
giving
good.
the team some instructions.
Okay. I'm
Max, are we
activating
good
ghost
to
cars.
go?
All ghost cars are on the road. Switching race mode to 1. ADS. ADS state is active. I think that we are ready to start the mission, and let me switch drive permission to go. Let's go.
Let's go. I love to hear those words. We are off. So there we go. Polymove on their first attempt. You can see the 8-minute clock is starting. This is what they said is tricky.
Oh.
These moving objects, and they've just hit one there. We know what happens.
Oh.
They're off the track.
Whoa.
So they hit that
What
crossing
happened?
obstacle, which they said their ADS software hadn't really calculated. Well, that caused them a problem. Ouch indeed is coming up. They said that was something that has been added by Roborace only a short while ago, and that they had to calculate that at the last minute. So those calculations don't look like they really work. Team Polymove, obviously you have a second attempt.
Yeah, we are really
Let me know, are you sorting that out? Sorry, carry on.
No, yeah, I was just saying that we're quite surprised because we tested this kind of scenarios in our simulation environment, and we never experienced anything like this. But we'll try to check what went wrong on our side. It really seemed that the simulator glitched at some point, so I don't know if that is something related to the problem we had, but we will try to figure out and try to check what happened. So if we can get back control on the simulator, we'll try to fix this.
Yeah, that's Max's job. Max, can they have control of the simulator?
Let me restart the simulator.
Thank you. So Max is restarting the simulator for you. Yeah, you must be really disappointed with that because it only been about 15 seconds. You hit that first moving object, like you said you're a little bit worried about, and then it just caused the car to go off.
Yeah.
Is there much time here? Can you have a look at any of the data to reset and not let that happen again?
I think we want I think that someone closed my windows, so I will need some time to get back to work.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we won't have time to check at data, so we'll try to get this shot in the dark and see if it fixes. Even if I'm really surprised of what happened. It's different from what we are used to see. So.
Yeah, that's a shame. Okay, well, I'll let you try and reboot, ready for your second attempt.
Yeah.
And let's see if you can do that, and we can get going again. Okay.
I think we'll need
pretty
5
tricky at the
minutes.
moment. Okay, 5 minutes. Okay. Well, Max, what did you make of that? Were you surprised as well? Polymove obviously saying they're surprised at what happened there.
Yeah, I'm really surprised.
Yeah, every team seemed to have gone off so far, haven't they? So it's obviously quite tricky. That's what Roborace are trying to do, of course. Add some extra elements every time and try and make it a little bit more challenging for these teams. And that's exactly what seems to be happening here, especially after Team Arrival went off for our second team, and now Polymove struggling after only 15 seconds on track. But we will actually take a short break right now while Polymove just reboot the system and get ready for their second attempt. And while we do then, you guys just sit back and relax, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes' time. We'll see you in a minute. Well, that was Team Polymove there, and they're on screen, ready and raring to go in this Roborace Sim Challenge. Offsprint in time. Max, I believe they're ready. Can you give them a signal, please?
Yeah, we are ready.
Okay, I think this will go better.
I can start the race right now.
The race is being started by Max. Got Polymove, go well. Good luck. 8 minutes will start on the clock as soon as Max gives you the signal.
Yeah, I am starting the race, switching drive permission to go, and let's go.
Okay, we're off. So we're looking to get past that 15-second mark, which is where Polymove unfortunately span off after their first attempt. Okay, they've hit another one of those obstacles. That does mean the dev bot is now slowing down, of course. So for a hit, they slow down by 40% for 5 seconds. For a smash, it's 80% decrease in speed. Woo! Down to 30 kilometers per hour at the moment. They've got to increase that speed if they are to get in and contest this competition here today. Again, don't want to hit many of these vehicles on track because that will also decrease their speed. But these glitches here, they've hit one. That's great. That means everything around them slows down by 15 kilometers per hour if they hit the glitch. Everything around them, if they hit something, then you can see they go super slow. I think they went down to about 15 kilometers per hour there. Okay, gaining speed again now, but not as fast as the teams who went before them. And have hit another one of those obstacles. Again, slowing down, have to get up to speed because ARG Max, they got up to around 180 kilometers per hour, didn't they? Polymove aren't quite reaching those speeds. Is this what you expected? What did you expect from this team?
We were expecting a bit better. Like, the track is much more crowded than our simulations. So, like, okay, we understand that we are hitting more of those obstacles than we were expecting. But at the same time, we've seen a bit of strange things that surprise us. And I think we will have to work more on our driver to track back the issues and understand what's going wrong with our driver.
Yeah, what do you think is causing you the most problems at the moment? Because you said you were worried about
the problem. I think
sideways.
is that the problem. I think is that we are hitting the glitches to slow down the other vehicles in the track. And unfortunately, we are not seeing any space to overtake them. So our driver reaction is like just wait for a better place to overtake the cars. The problem is that if the cars are going to 15 kilometers per hour, then we're slowing down as they are.
Yeah, that seems
my
to be the case, doesn't it?
So, like, we're probably choosing a bit too safe a strategy for this kind of race.
Yes, exactly.
Because,
that was Polymove's aim. Remember, at the beginning, guys at home, they said they wanted a safe environment. They wanted to safely navigate the 9.55k traffic sprint, and they are doing that. Just possibly not as fast as
now I've seen
they
a nice
would have hoped
overtake,
for.
so I'm happy.
Okay, I love that the team's happy. Unfortunately, hit an obstacle there. Don't worry.
Yeah.
The clock is running down though. 4:35 left. We are very much stuck in traffic in rush hour at the moment. You got to overtake those two cars there. Looks like
There's a bit of a mess on track right now.
There is. It's like Central London, let me tell you that. Central London at 5 o'clock is very busy like this. So
it's very impressive.
I know the feeling. But it's great, isn't it? Roborace keep adding elements of the metaverse to really make you guys think about the calculations, really keep you on your toes.
Ouch.
Ouch.
Yeah,
You're
this.
literally reading the screen.
Yeah, I was reading.
You are living every ouch moment, aren't you? Yes. Okay, you got a glitch. That is also important. So just around 3.5 minutes then left to complete this course. Not long to go at the moment. Obviously, you're talking to me at the moment. Is that because once your car is out on track, there isn't really much for you and the team to do? It's just a matter of watching and hoping the calculations are correct?
Yeah,
exactly.
like I think that our calculations were correct for a kind of different scenario, because you see, like, here we have a lot of traffic in front of us, and probably the best strategy that our driver is choosing is just wait for them to get a bit unpacked. So
you know what I'd
that's
liken
what's
this to in the UK? We'd probably call your driving like going out for a Sunday drive. It means going out for a slow drive on a Sunday, just meandering around the country roads here.
What's happening there?
Dear, come on, Polymove.
Why there are ghost cars? Yeah, but
What's happening?
what's going on? I mean, why ghost cars are stopped in the middle of the... there is no space to go.
The ghost cars
They're
completed
stopping.
their mission.
Is this it? Is it finished? Max?
No.
No, it's not finished.
Okay, I think that
No,
our driver
Max,
is not
tell us what's
able
happening.
to
The
react.
the driver can decide what to do.
Your AI,
the
guys,
point
needs to
is-
decide what to do. He thinks we're at a traffic
Yeah.
light. We're not.
It isn't stuck.
Like, yeah, it's stuck because it's just cross. Like there are stopped cars in front of him, and he is not able to find a space to overtake them. I think it's like we got
Dry
into
left
a deadlock.
and move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, he's realised. He's realised we're not at
Yeah.
traffic lights. He's realised we're still going. Amazing. He's moved.
Yeah.
Okay, can he complete the course in the right
Yeah,
time?
it was a really a bit of a pity to see that, but like, can you? We never like had the problem with like really stop ghost cars in the middle of the track in simulation. We didn't know that this was a possible situation. So yeah, like the problem with AI driver is that if you do not code stuff into that driver, you will never make it.
You have only
didn't
1 minute left to
preempt then
complete your
that any
mission.
traffic was going to stop. Guys, next time, traffic has a mind of its own, like we know. It may go faster, it may slow down, it may stop altogether, like we just saw. So that's something to learn, isn't it, for next time? But okay, we have 45 seconds left on the clock. Again, your car is loving following the traffic instead of overtaking it right now.
Yeah.
Come on, how long has it got left on the circuit? Not long, surely.
Yeah, I think it's not it's not enough. We'll probably.
Right,
We'll probably not
25,
make it to the
under
end line.
25 seconds. But at least, let's see how fast you can pick up speed at the end. Approaching 10 seconds left. So the clock is counting down. Just another glitch there, which is great for Polymove, of course. It says way, but the time
mission is over.
unfortunately is up. The mission is over. Polymove, commiserations there, but massive positives. You stayed on track. You've learnt that the vehicles, the ghost cars, can stop, so you need to calculate next time for that happening. And you must have loads of data as well to take away going forward.
Yeah, of course.
It was very
we
exciting.
learned a good lesson here. Just we probably trained on the wrong scenario. So hope that next time we will be more prepared and like give a better show of our capabilities.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Polymove, there we go. The results are coming up at the moment. Completed, but unfortunately out of time, as were Arrival Racing. Of course, they failed, didn't they? The only team actually with a time saved on track is ARG, Autonomous Racing Grats. 2 minutes 13.991. They are the team to beat. There's still one more team to go, of course, who actually can topple them off. We'll find out a little bit more about them after the break. But Polymove, commiserations. Thank you so much for taking part, especially after your first attempt where it didn't quite go to plan. Second attempt was so much better. You stayed the duration of the 8 minutes. Unfortunately, we needed a little bit more time, didn't we, to complete the entire circuit length today. But had fun out there?
Yeah, thank you very much and have a good rest of the race. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you very much.
Bye.
There we go. Team Polymove there. Max, you said you didn't really expect that.
Yeah.
That was crazy. That was fun. I like that. Drama everywhere, guys. Okay, so 3 teams then have completed. So I think Polymove, you need to log out now if you can hear me still. So log out. So the 4th and final team are ready to go as soon as they join us, because our final team, who are actually leading the Roborace team standings at the moment, are SIT, and they're our 4th and final team on track. So I'm excited to see how the dominant force of SIT go. I'm sure Max is as well. So I believe we can have a quick break, get ready, and wait for SIT to upload themselves into our simulator and get ready. Their first of their 2 attempts here in the Offsprint in-time challenge. We'll see you after this quick break. Hey guys, and welcome back to Roborace for tonight's sim racing challenge, which is called Offsprint in time. It's the first time any of our teams competing tonight have taken part in this challenge, which is pretty exciting for us. It's a global challenge. We've had 3 teams already have their chance at trying to be as best they possibly can on the simulator, and 1 more team still to go. So I'm going to signal for our next team to start uploading their team into the car, so they're ready to go. Hopefully our last team, Polymove, have actually cleaned up the simulator as well. Our next team, they're leading the season beta Roborace Championship. They are SIT. Let's find out if they can go 1 better here and top this table as well. Let's have a little look at our team right now. Here we go, Team SIT. Yeah, guys, can you hear me? If you can, just put your hand up. I'd love to hope. Yes, you can hear me.
Hey,
hi. Hi, lovely to see you again. And all of your Team SIT. Been the 3 teams, go before you, of course. 2, unfortunately, failed attempts from Polymove and Arrival, but ARG have done the business, and they're currently setting the standards, aren't they? After watching those teams, how are you feeling ahead of your attempt, Ilya?
Oh, we're feeling that we need to, I mean, we don't know what to expect because we can fail as well. We can make a good lap, but who knows? Because as usual, we don't have enough time for testing, so let's see what will happen.
Yeah, I think the teams are finding a lot of the new metaverse quite tricky. I'll go actually down the team as well. Alexander, if you can, I don't know, whoever wants to answer the next question, I'll put it out there to the whole SIT team. But what are you most worried about? Ilya said you haven't had quite enough time, but obviously you're going to contend with the vehicles, the obstacles, and the glitches. What are you most concerned with this evening?
Your question was for me? Sorry.
Whoever wants to answer, you just jump in.
We're afraid that about physics model of race car, because the Polymove team found some mistake in configuration yesterday. So we're afraid that how it's this model will be fit our software.
Okay, so you've had a couple of problems. I just want to actually clarify, are you guys uploading your ADS at the moment? Has
Yes.
Polymove cleared out?
Yeah.
Are you guys actually uploading?
Yes, we're on it.
Yes? You're on it. Okay, so their download has started. Fabulous. They have 10 minutes to do that, of course, before their 8 minutes starts. Okay, so let's just talk a little bit about your approach, Ilya, today. I think it was Polymove and Arrival both said they were going for a really safe attempt. Is that what you're looking to achieve as well?
Actually, no. I wouldn't say that it's like safe approach because for now, for us, it's quite experimental part of our software, at least because we have like new features on track, like glitches. There's like a slowdown of other obstacles. So actually, we didn't have quite time to to make it stable. So it's our experimental version. So let's see, because it's not a safe approach because we expect there may be some problems. But you know, like considering the time that we have, I mean, it's. Oh yeah.
No, there'll be a lot of problems, I'm sure, and I'm sure you just watched Polymove's attempt there, and the fact that they didn't realise that the vehicles could stop on circuit, and they hadn't calculated for that. Is that something that you have calculated before, or are you also looking at that going, I'm not sure how my AI will approach that if it happens to you guys?
Yeah, it's definitely the things that we considered in our past, but we didn't test this feature recently, so we don't know is it will it work properly or not as released. So we don't know. Yeah. Also, I think Maxim is frozen. I mean, he's very
Yeah,
smiley.
but I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, Maxim, you are there. You've got a great smile on your face. So I thought you were just loving.
I'm so
Ilia's
lucky to be
answers there.
frozen at exactly this moment. Yeah. I hope that
Well, at
my
least you're
smile
frozen.
will help us today. Yeah.
At least you're frozen with a smile. I love that you are. Maxim, tell me about what you've been working on for the team then. What's your, I guess,
We
role with
working out
SIT?
together as our team. We are work hard to achieve it is a lot of new features. It is
Alex, could you repeat
completely
that?
new problem for us. And glitches, yes, there is new dimension of the problem, and we did something. We trying to consider everything, but we're not sure how good we will be, especially with completely new configuration. It can be really tricky, and we hope that we will achieve something. Yeah, let's see.
Well, Maxim, I hope that your ADS doesn't freeze like you are currently on our screens, and I hope you have a better attempt at your first attempt. Are you guys downloaded? Are you ready and raring to go?
Yeah, just one moment. We need to check to the last check of our parameters. As soon as that's done, we're ready to go. So Alex,
Okay,
can you walk through with me with it?
Yes.
So Max will tell you when I think you're ready as well. Ilya, I'll come back to you quickly. So obviously ARG have set the standard with 2 minutes 13.991. You must have watched that. Do you think that's beatable tonight for you guys?
So it's beatable if there is no something unpredictable things, but everything can happen. So if we have some stable run without any unexpected features or unexpected behavior on our side, then probably we can set a good time. But if something happens, who knows? I mean, probably no.
Well, expect the unexpected. Of course, this is Roborace. I'm guessing you guys have tested on this simulator as well. What's the best time you've achieved in your testing? Have you got a benchmark that you'd like to better internally for SIT?
Actually, I don't know the exact time because we tested with different configuration, with different versions of simulator, with different configuration of obstacles. So this time doesn't matter. I mean, we cannot say that we can repeat our times that we set yesterday, because yesterday we had completely different set of obstacles, set of cars, and etc. So it's hard to compare. So we can only compare today with other teams. So we can only see what will happen.
Absolutely. Yeah. Maxim, you are back. You're unfrozen. Woo! You're unfrozen. We can see you. And Maxim, how exciting is it for you guys to get back and actually start racing again? I know it's not at the actual Las Vegas Motor Speedway circuit, but this has got to be second best, right?
Kind of. Because the simulator, it is always completely different story. There is no wind resistance, there is no different tires or different patches of the road, different grip levels. There is no something like that. There is no any mechanical problems, and it is a completely different story if you're racing in the sim. And because of it, we so waiting to be on the track, on the real track, to race real pro. And yeah, it is what we are waiting for. But right now, I think it is great that we have some new challenges, new problems. We can develop our approach, extend our framework to be ready to solve new problems, and it's really great. And these things unpredictable behavior, glitches, you have like speed reduction almost instant. It is like unpredictable behavior. You can develop different critical overtaking, maneuvering, and it is really important for proper ADS driver, even for like public roads, for autonomous in general. And it is, I think, really nice problems. And I'm engineer, and I'm really happy to have a chance to handle this, to solve this.
Yeah, I mean that's the end goal, right? Getting these cars
start.
on the road and driving autonomously. That is the aim. I believe, Max, is that thumbs up, good to go for Team SIT?
Yeah, they are ready to start. Let me prepare our environment.
Perfect. So Max is
Sorry,
just
Maxim, can you give us
preparing-
a heads up? Because we are actually ready to start, but we are not started yet. So we need a flag from you when we can launch.
Yeah, please launch, and then I will launch the viewer. Or you need
Okay,
to
I'm
launch
launching
your
now then.
software just... okay, launch, please.
It looks like we're about to go. Max, how are you feeling at the moment? About to press go and launch the team. Does that worry you a little bit, Max, that it's now all under your control? You are mission control, aren't you?
I'm very excited.
He's so focused he didn't even hear me.
Let me take control.
No, guys, hold on. I think we have a problem.
Yeah? Can I take control?
Yeah. No, not yet.
Thank you.
So the guys
No,
are
Maxim, I
just
said not
talking.
yet, sorry. I said not yet, Maxim. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Please go on.
Yes, I think we have a problem. Can we, guys, can we have a look?
Ruslan, I think it is like starting configuration. Normal issues like.
That's not normal issues. Yeah, let's go. with
What time do you
parameters.
need?
Maybe 2 minutes.
Okay, go on.
I think something is wrong with the map.
I think there are no GPS data
But it shouldn't fail anyway.
because it is out of range.
Yes.
Like 3000 port, maybe, or XTS.
Yeah.
Reported
Port
3000.
is 3000.
Can we just try to reboot?
Well, let's try to start again, but
Okay, what are you doing, guys? Are you trying to fix the issue?
yeah.
Yes, sir.
No, it fails again.
So it's pretty tense right now for SIT, of course. They're just trying to fix a couple of problems they seem to be having with their ADS system. They're maybe trying to reboot it, I think, because it looked like they were ready, but now we're just taking a moment for the team to have a little look and see what the problem is. But it's quite interesting, isn't it? You don't often get to have a POV shot of all the members of the team in any sport. I mean, when does that happen? When do you get to kind of go inside the dressing room, as you like? I'm going to call this their dressing room.
Guys,
and you
looks
know,
like I found an issue.
be a fly on the wall and listen
Let
to
me
what they're
restart,
saying.
the simulator again, because
We're starting.
the car is not before the start position for some reason.
Yeah, it looks like this because we're getting the index that is above the map size.
So the car is not where it should be to start. So Max is just trying to sort that out for Team SIT as well, so we can see him just adding something to the code there. So it might take a couple more moments, because remember, SIT are leading the championship in season beta for Roborace. Usually absolutely flawless, these guys are. So I'm sure they're wondering what's going wrong at the moment, as are we, and just really keeping our fingers crossed they can get out safely onto the track here and have a go and get a solid first attempt under their belt. But I mean, we're looking into the dressing room, aren't we? They don't look flustered at the moment. I mean, the team boss up there, we'll call the team boss, Ilya. Maybe he looks a little bit concerned.
Please take control.
Let's
Okay,
wait to see what Max is saying.
starting.
I think Max said they were starting. Max, can you give us a little update? What's going on?
Team is starting the
Max,
software.
can you hear me?
We resetted the position of the Robocar to the before start line, but looks like guys still have the same error.
No, it's correct. It's okay now. Yeah, it's fixed. It was
Okay, cool.
the incorrect position. Yeah, so just give us a second. We need to start logging, and then we are ready to go.
Super.
Cool. So problem has been sorted out. Car is in the right position, I believe, at the moment. So the team are just fixing that.
Okay, I think we're good to
You
go.
are ready?
With a sigh of relief.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me to do preparations.
Will be underway shortly. Here we go. We are booting up. This is meaning we are in business for SIT, our fourth and final team then for Offsprint in time. This sim challenge we have here at Roborace this evening. So this is the first of its kind, remember? So let's see how this team get on. 2 attempts, of course.
What
at
race
this
mode?
traffic
Race
sprint.
mode 1?
Doesn't matter.
Sort them out.
Okay.
Max, you
I
start
will,
us off, please.
Race mode 0. I'm switching control mode to ADS, and ADS state is active. And 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so SIT are underway then. Yes, this is the final team. Oh, Ilya breathes a sigh of relief there in the top right-hand corner. Team are going. Okay, so, and they just slightly hit that object and go off
Do we have a
the track.
proper model
Ouch.
for?
So similar.
Yeah, I'm sure
Follow.
it is not correct.
Exactly
Yeah,
the same
we should have DevBot model, not Robocar. For like
That is
physical simulation.
DevBot model in the simulator. You just see the Robocar in the viewer.
Yeah, it was like yesterday was discussed about the tire models, like tire parameters, and we saw this behavior like on the incorrect version.
But let me double check.
Yeah, tire parameters, the additional lines with like some tire configuration.
Maybe after you reboot the system, there is again like default parameters.
So Ilya, what do you think has happened here? Do you think it's a Roborace problem or an SIT problem?
We believe there is something with car configuration, but let's check. Right now, Maxim is checking.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, fab, we'll wait and see.
You can see that. Let me show you.
So maybe a car
That
configuration.
we have the DevBot YAML as a model.
Yeah, it's hard to say what's the problem because we didn't test on the hill. like the last release of the Hive, and we just don't know what the problem is.
And in
We
the
did a couple
DevBot
of
YAML,
tests with the
we have no lines about tire model. So the conditions are the same for all teams, and nothing was changed in the physical model during the race, during the mission competition.
So,
Okay, so
Maxim, is this
actually we
causing
don't
the
Maybe
team?
want
you have some hot fix for it. If
Yes,
Yeah.
we're discussing. Just one moment.
Okay.
okay,
So we'll just let SIT discuss what they're going to do then to fix the issue. Give them a moment just to sort this out.
So we have one attempt left. Is it correct?
One attempt left, correct. Max, I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Max Roborace. Why do you think all the teams have been having similar problems? I'm going to say that they keep kind of sliding off the track.
yesterday teams faced an issue with additional lines in the configuration about tire models. We used the Robocar model and Robocar YAML configuration, and this configuration has additional lines, but the physical model is the same as a DevBot model, and we before the competition move back the DevBot physical model. We just leave one line as for Robocar to have a proper model in the viewer.
Okay, so there's been a line possibly taken out which the teams weren't particularly aware of. So how easy is this for them to sort out for their second attempt now? SIT, as you can see, we've taken off the screen just so they can sort out their problem away from our prying eyes, so we don't stress them out too much. But yeah, Max, tell us about how they can possibly sort this out in not a great deal of time.
А мы можем замьютить сейчас как-то этот презентацию?
Max?
Yeah, Rachel, please repeat.
What can they do then at this moment to try and sort out these problems they're having? Anything, or they have to just stick with it and possibly
I'm unable to
go a bit slower?
to help the team, but they said that they are discussing some hotfix.
Okay, well,
And
they're
looks
discussing
like they are
behind the
muted
scenes at the
and
moment.
discussing between themselves in some silent room.
In a silent room discussing what they need to do. Ooh, sounds
Yeah.
serious. Okay,
Yeah.
well, we can't obviously hear them. So yeah, quite a lot of the teams are struggling. SIT in particular, I thought they were going to be the smoothest of our teams today, considering how well they've been doing in Roborace season beta. Again, are you surprised, especially with SIT and I'm going to say a rival, that they haven't really performed how we'd expect them to? Max, can you hear me?
Yeah. Sorry, I was concentrated.
Okay. Max is
this-
working on. What are you working on, Max?
I just read some logs to make sure that everything on our side is going okay.
Okay. So Roborace is running smoothly. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Whew, well, it's not a Roborace problem then, guys. Something that SIT need to sort out at the moment if they are to get themselves a time on the score sheet. That's crucial. At the moment, we only have one team, if you can remember, who have got a time. And that was our first team, and that seems like hours ago now. That was at the beginning of our show, a little bit earlier, around 5:30. British summertime, that is, of course. So we'll have to wait and see how our fourth and final team, SIT, get on, because, you know, it seemed like they weren't going to go for the safe option, like quite a lot of the other teams said they were going to do. They were really going to go for it like SIT always do, but something's changed since they tested yesterday. And a lot of the obstacles, of course, are unknown elements for all of these teams, though, so not just SIT. And the sideways moving obstacles, as the team's been calling them, have been quite tricky. Okay, Max has given us confirmation. Teams are ready. Okay, let's get on with this then, shall we? The second attempt for SIT looks like we're almost ready to go.
But they are still launching their software.
They're launching. Well, that's promising anyway. Launching is good to me. Launch away when you can, SIT. We're waiting to see how you get on here.
And yeah, like from our side, how is like we can explain why it's happening? Because there are like different versions that we tested. Like on Friday, we tested with one version. Then we had like some updates, also from like a simulator part, and we didn't have time to test because like all simulator has been booked for some rehearsals, like preparations and tests, and then we didn't test, so we cannot test with actual
Are you guys
like
still launching something?
Versions. Yes.
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it, for all the teams, and we don't have enough time to test on all the different formats which Roborace put in place. But Max, are we ready?
Yeah, let me start the viewer and let me start.
Okay, viewer is
logic.
booting up. Here we go. Track. I love to see a track. I love to see a car.
Okay.
I love to see Team SIT.
Yeah.
Well, when mission control says go, and that is Max, we'll have our final attempt of this evening.
I'm activating ghost cars.
Ghost cars are go.
All 23 are on the road. Switching control mode to ADS and 3, 2, 1, go.
Yes, well, that is a great sign, of course. SIT underway on their second attempt. Let's see if they can get past this tricky section, which has proved to be quite difficult for a lot of the teams. They just hit one of those sideways moving obstacles there, which has meant they've slowed right down, as you can see, but then did just get a glitch. So everything else around them has slowed down by 15 kilometers per hour. So you can see they're overtaking that vehicle there, which is very promising. Now getting nicely up to speed as well, 80 odd, 90 kilometers per hour, which is much better than our previous team, Polymove, managed to reach. Another glitch there, so that's great. Again, everything around them will slow down for 10 seconds. But they've slowed down as well. That's always a problem, that they possibly haven't calculated what the other car's going to do. Oof. So a car's just gone past them, it's overtaken them. And we're now slightly slower, Ken, reaching a better speed at the moment. So running into quite a lot of problems here. Running into some problems, and it's around about 3 laps of this track as well. Remember, 9.5K they have to complete. So, okay, right up to good speed now. 190 kilometers per hour, I think they just reached, which is possibly a top speed of this the tonight, I'm going to say, because I think ARG got about 180, 185. Okay, so it looks like we're progressing into this circuit now, doesn't it? Back down, unfortunately, to 40 kilometers per hour for SIT. Can they overtake this vehicle in front of them? Looks like they're just sitting behind it at the moment. Okay, overtake, and they missed that obstacle. Oh, maybe they just hit something there because they've got an R on track, but they've got a glitch. And then they've hit another obstacle. Oh, the team don't know what to make of this. They're laughing and they're going, what is going on? The metaverse is causing all sorts of problems out here. It's tricky, guys. You have to watch everything on track here. Okay. 5:44 left on the clock. Surely they'll get around the circuit, though. They're up again to a pretty good speed. Just coming around this right-hander here. Not hitting anything at the moment. There's a car up ahead, though. How can they navigate this? Hopefully without hitting it. because when they hit a car, it's a decrease of speed by 40% for 5 seconds. When they smash one of these vehicles or an object, it's a decrease of speed by 80% for 5 seconds. So you don't want to be hitting anything if you can help it. Just get those glitches. Ooh, right into that obstacle. Ouch. They just found their rhythm and then they kind of hit that obstacle and lost a bit of time there. But looks like they're approaching quite a lot of traffic ahead. 3 cars it looks like. So let's see how they navigate this. Ilya, what are you making of this so far? It's pretty tricky, right?
Yeah, it's tricky, and actually it's exciting to see how we are dealing with it. I mean, there is a lot of mistakes, issues that need to be resolved and fixed, but like anyway, it's quite interesting to see. There is a lot of objects that we need to overtake and like understand what's the best strategy to take. So it's an interesting challenge for us.
Maxim, it must be really nice actually to sit back and watch all your work in front of you, right? Maxim's focus as well. Anyway, go back to Ilya.
Yeah, Maxim is too concentrated.
Yeah, it's very exciting. My heart is beating.
I'm so excited because it's a lot of stuff going on the track. Yeah, I'm like so.
I know, brilliant.
Pretty concentrated.
No worries, I'll let you guys just watch and I'll just chat.
Yeah, the speed is not so great. Our speed is not so great because we significantly reduce like our performance level. Yeah, but we are pretty much good with like dynamic objects. I think it's great. Yeah, we are slow, but
3.5 minutes.
Looks really nice.
Not this time.
Yes. Yeah, but it is actually, if we're talking about racing, we like did a proper line. We like fight for apex. And like there was no room for us driver. They hit us.
Also,
yeah,
I would like to mention that I like that we have a lot of our cars on the track. Also, we need to change like Robocar to our SAT car, and it will be like a perfect environment for us.
Here it's great, isn't it? 23 ghost cars on track at one time.
Yeah.
Which is pretty tricky for every team. But again, here we go. Getting up to a bit more speed, but again, going around this corner, you have to really focus to not exceed track limits. You got that glitch though, which is great for you guys, slowing everything else down so you can navigate. And another one as well. Okay, nice. So that is 20 seconds of slow moving traffic ahead of you. And smash that obstacle, it looked like there. Don't know if it registered, but that's good if it didn't. Not long to go though, 2.5 minutes. I'm getting a little bit animated. I need to just calm down and just focus like you guys. Get the glitch! No, couldn't quite get it. Woo! This is good, I like this. And at least when you crash into a vehicle, it doesn't actually affect the car, which is great, because that would be pretty costly. We've seen some trouble with the SIT car before, of course. Okay. It's a shame though, guys, isn't it, that obviously you had a bit of a bad first attempt, because I'm sure if this was your first attempt, you could have progressed so much better after this. 3 in a row obstacles there. Not great for SIT. 1:48 time credit. Is that how it finished? 1:48? Looks like 1:48 on the clock, guys. Great job. Woo! Sigh of relief there.
It's finished. Good. I think no.
Woo.
Oh yeah.
It was exciting.
There we go. Let's have a look at the results then. SIT mission status. Look at that in green, completed. We'll wait for the time to pop up so you can get confirmation of that. It should do that any moment, guys. I'd love to see what exactly it is. So it was 2:13.391 now. Changed a little bit. And then SIT, I think it was 1:48, thereabouts.
Yeah, we saved less time than Grass team.
Yeah, so we'll wait for that. And Ilya, I'll just get your thoughts on that as a whole. How do you analyse that second attempt then?
So as we said, so we really reduce the limits of our car, so to be safe and not to repeat these errors that happened like at the first attempt. So that's what we did, and it seems that we were slower than grass team, but at least we finished the race, so it's okay, it's good.
Yeah, so you're sitting second then. We can see then your result, 1:48.061 was your time remaining.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, not good enough to beat ARG there, who sit nice and pretty at the top with 2:13.99391. I beg your pardon. But yeah, great result for a first attempt. How will you and the team now progress going forward, Ilya? What's the next steps for you?
No, it's obviously like I take the current version of simulator, current version of the car, and try to understand the car limits, actual car limits that we can use, because it's quite different to what we used to. And then increase this time and test our run again with the same configuration of obstacles, and then we can understand how much faster we can be. But we can do it like after the race, because we have the configuration of obstacles and we can repeat everything.
Yeah, obviously have a chance to look at all the data, of course. And Maxim, I'm going to bring you in because you were so focused during that second attempt there. It looked like you were loving it. Just talk us through the emotions that you go through when you watch all your hard work pay off on track.
Yeah, it was actually not so fast how we expect. Yeah, it is like... I'm not so happy actually after the race, because we want to win every time. Yeah, but today we wasn't so lucky, but we will strong in the future. We will work hard. We resolve any issues and we'll stronger in the future. Yeah.
Well, you've only got 2 weeks to wait now. Ilya, what will you do between now and then to come back even stronger and try and grab that crown from ARG and put yourself at the top of the sim challenge as well as season beta?
So what we're going to do, so actually work hard, improve everything that we can improve, and then see what happens.
Great work, guys. SIT, thank you. It's been a pleasure, as always, to have you as part of any of our challenges that we have. Second place today. Really great job, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
SIT, bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well, there you go. SIT then in second place with a time remaining of 1:48.016, but your first place today, ARG, Autonomous Racing Graz, with 2:13.391 was their time at the end of their 9.55 kilometer traffic sprint then. I mean, Max, what did you make of that? 2 teams finished, 2 unfortunately didn't, but a pretty good day all round, right?
Yeah, it was pretty good, and sometimes it was very exciting to me, and I feel like my heart is beating in my chest. Yeah, it was very cool.
Max, would you say it was quite stressful for you, like it was for the teams?
Yeah, it was very stressful because I was responsible for whole our system functionality. I was on the controls, on the management, and sometimes I was afraid to do some mistake. Yeah, it was very stressful.
And I know that you absolutely hated me keep asking you questions as well. You were so focused. I was like, Max, did you hear me? But overall,
yeah.
Max, it seemed like
sometimes my wife is unable to distract me from the screen, and she said that she will buy some long stick to touch me when I'm focused.
Tell her to stay away for a moment. You can have your lunch in a minute. I'll go and have my dinner. You can have your lunch. But wasn't it great though, Max, to see how much the teams enjoyed it? They seem to really love that we've implemented these new metaverse into the challenge tonight and to really get them thinking about what was to come.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Oh, he's so focused, he doesn't even listen to my questions now. I basically was saying the teams look like they love tonight, which is a big part of it as well, isn't it? Max is ready for lunch. I'm ready for dinner. The teams are ready for whatever they're doing around the world. Guys, we hope you've enjoyed Roborace's Offsprint in time. It was the first of, we're hoping, many more to come in the future. We're going to obviously leave you now tonight and just mull over those results. But if you want to keep up to date with all things Roborace, then just find us on all our social media channels. Okay, until our next event, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Max and to Andy, who left a bit early on, and the rest of our team. And we'll see you very soon. Good night.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you. Thank you for a good evening.